welcome back to game 2 of our doubleheader. I guess match 2 of our doubleheader here. We're coming in off of a Saints Academy Rocket League 3-0 sweep, now into week 6 of NECC here. We're going to have Academy Black, I believe is the term for this team, because there's 2 Valorant Academy teams. We got tons of academies here. Academy Red, actually, I'm being updated, so good thing we got that cleared up. So it's going to be Academy Red coming in here. They're moving into week 6 of the NECC. We're going to be up against Carleton University White.
Yeah, and this will be an interesting matchup, of course. You know, all of these sort of B teams from other schools as well, you know, they're going to get a chance to go up against the team that has a little bit more structure here with our Saints Academy Red, of course. But as we mentioned, you know, testing out some different players as well, bringing a little bit of spice to what has been an up and down season, I want to say, for Saints Academy Red thus far. Very curious to see how that transforms in this matchup here, and I want to see what the maps are. We're getting that news soon. As always, Valorant players like to pick their maps as late as possible, of course, just to make sure. But nonetheless, it really depends on what maps we see as well, because overall, I think the maps that we've casted the most, at least in Valorant this season, have been, you know, Ascent, we've seen Bind, we've seen Haven,
and we've seen Pearl like once or twice. I think I've casted Pearl once, and then it's really it's a lot of Ascent teams. What I've noticed, teams love that Ascent, and I think a lot of that comes down to it being one of the older maps in the game, right? First, I think if I'm not wrong, the first map they added, the first, I guess like DLC or the first season map that came out to add on to those initial ones from release. And then, it's teams are practiced on it. I think the mid area really lends to like more of an even game, because a lot of it is just about map control, and it's pretty even to attackers and defenders to be able to get that map control, right? Move into that mid area and close down, 90% of the rotations on the map, really. So I think a lot of teams are okay with that, because, if you're a weak defensive-sided team, if you're a weak attack-sided team, it's fine, because you're able to kind of, make that work, find the half that you like, and then when you're on that half that, you think you might be a little worse on, then you're still able to kind of, just play around the map, really, and just use your strats and get that mid control.
Yeah, and it seems like we've got the maps coming through, and I am... that's exactly what it's going to be. Haven, Ascent, and Bind, the 3 maps that we talked about. The collegiate standard. I've tried to push this term a lot more in a lot of the Valorant that I've been casting. The collegiate standard, put it in quotes, trademark it, make it, any sort of copyright or anything. The collegiate standard, Haven, Ascent, and Bind. It feels like we see these maps so often from collegiate teams, not really wanting to bring any sort of variance in there. I mean, realistically, Pearl, Fracture, even Breeze, even when we look at... What's the other map I'm missing right now? Oh my goodness. I'll bring it up. I'll remember at some point. But, those Icebox, there we go. Those maps have a little bit more nuance, I feel, to them. And there's, specific sites that work really well for some teams and really don't work well for other teams that you can exploit in a lot of ways. So I think that is a lot of the reason why these 3 maps have sort of stood the test of time. I'm curious to see if/when they bring Split back and where that sort of changes, what they take out. And I have an inkling of a feeling it's either going to be Haven or Bind, because those are 2 of the maps that they haven't really taken out of the rotation and are of the sort of older group of maps from release. So very curious to see how that works out. But of course, Sunday, we've got to look at the standings for where Saints Academy Red currently sit. Yeah,
you're curious about the maps. I'm curious to see this because, the viewers here, we haven't really been able to catch up with Academy Valorant too much, because, there's so much varsity to be had here on the stream, and looks like they're actually doing all right for themselves, find themselves in that 4th spot there, but 7-6 on map, fairly even. As you can see, Carleton University White, they're finding themselves 2-3, so should be a fairly even matchup coming into the night, or just standings-wise, really, and in terms of Saints Academy Red, they're also going to be trying out a few new players, as we had mentioned earlier in the stream as well. So it's definitely going to be, I guess, a bit more of an experimental game here from Academy.
Yeah, and really curious to see how it sort of pans out for them in the long run as well, because as you can see, despite, Saints having technically a winning record across everything, it's not much of a winning record. As you see, it's a 1-map difference, it's a 5-round difference compared to what Carleton White are bringing, where it's, -2 in maps, but +2 in rounds. So they've actually been able to find more dominant victories, and their losses have been a little bit closer. What that tells me about a team is that Carleton might be a little bit better than what their record suggests. Means that their wins have been a little bit more dominant and their losses have been a lot closer.
Yeah.
Could really depend on strength of schedule, which is not something we can really go over that quickly in that sense. But overall, it feels as if this matchup is going to be incredibly even, and there might be a little bit of an adjustment coming through because of those newer players, as we mentioned, coming through for the side of Saints Academy Red, where they may not have as much comfort playing with each other. Comms could get a little bit more cluttered per se. There are worlds where a team just, bringing in some substitutions, going with what some would say is maybe like a second string roster, so to speak, could lead itself to, fall into, and some of the traps that land there. But I mean, we've got the 3 standard maps. Generally, they're pretty straightforward. Looks like the Saints are going to be starting on defense all 3 rounds as well. So a very sort of all 3 maps are going to sort of play out the same. We're going to see a lot of the defense come through, and we'll see what they're able to do. And I think that will give them a little bit more comfort going into things. I'm curious to see how the agents work, but of course, we have to wait for that just a little bit.
Yeah, and right before we set it to break here, I just want to touch on the scores a little bit here, the records from both these teams, because coming into week 6, one team's 3-2, the other team 2-3. Carleton got a chance to even out their record here, move up just a little bit in the standings. Saints Academy, they've got their chance to really shoot up into that 3rd, 2nd place here and, give themselves a chance at a playoff run here as well. So this, even though it's just a regular season week, it's very, very important for Saints Academy Red here to be able to bring themselves into that longer run this season.
Yeah, and I think especially considering it is week 6, there's 8 weeks in the NECC regular season. I believe some of the records that showed there might have been missing a game that was rescheduled or the like. It's coming down to every game matters at that point. You want to get as good seeding as possible, because realistically, Saints have qualified for playoffs. Very likely Carleton will qualify for playoffs as well, considering the teams below them. It's all about seeding at this point. And this is a very likely, playoff matchup. If Saints are to win today, it could be 3 versus 6 with Carleton slotting in there. It could be 4 versus 5 if Saints drop today. So it's a likely playoff matchup. So these teams really want to establish themselves at that. But we're going to head to a quick break here before we hop into Agent Select. Don't go anywhere. Don't want to miss our Academy VALORANT stream before tonight. Welcome back, everyone, to our Valorant Academy broadcast here. Saints Academy Red going up against Carleton University White Rare Adam alongside Fundy here for tonight. Very interested to see how this one goes. Of course, we're going to have St. Clair Academy Red on the defending side to start us off. Actually going to start us off on defense, all three maps for today, but already some agent hovers coming through. Very standard. I hate to break it to you. Nothing too crazy coming through in terms of these comps thus far.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. We're going to see Sensei Moji there from the Saints hovering over that chamber. And then, of course, got to match the chamber on the other side there. It's Hayden Dom who's going to be hovering over that. No locks just yet. So, changes could happen. We see Pans debating on which duelist to pick here. Are they going to go the Jet? Reyna? I'd love to see me a Reyna.
I'd love to see Reyna as well, honestly. I'd love to see Phoenix as well. That would be fun.
Phoenix would be fun. Yeah, Reyna, as we all know, the Phoenix lock is good, and it's actually going to be Demon and Soup also locking in their 2 picks there as well, and the locks are going to come through as 0-second hits here, and it's actually fairly similar comps on both sides. Just going to be swapping out that second initiator. Torva going to be on the Sova there, and then you're going to see, I believe that's Pluto there on the Fade as well, or it's Water there.
Yeah, very curious to see what these teams are able to pull out. Of course, on one side, see White there, of course, pulling out all the schemas. I kind of like that, coordination between the two teams to sort of set everything up. But of course, going to see dueling skies there coming through from Soup as well as Snoozers, dueling omens as well. Very standard stuff to expect on something like Haven, where you've got those 3 sites. You really need to make sure you've got enough flashes, enough smokes to enter onto any of those 3 sites, especially if you're faking to execute one way or the other. So very curious to see how everything shakes out here. But of course, early rounds here. Always curious to see how these pistol rounds go, because they can really set the tempo for the game. Winning a pistol round just gives you that extra little bit of momentum to get over the first little bit of the game. Get your econ in check.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, coming onto Haven, having something like Sky with those regenerating flashes, right? Like you said, when you go to fake a site, you have those regenerating smokes on the Omen as well. If you're burning utility at the starting, it's not the biggest deal because you can rotate. You're going to have it back up when that rotation comes through. Flash going to be hit on Lost as this chamber here has now moved up into Garage, and Lost just not even going to risk the peek here, just going to wait at this angle. It's now Eden's just going to be waiting here. Slow play in Garage. You've got the TP set up, just waiting for a pick.
You can see how default they're playing as well. A couple lurking up C. No one on A thus far, but the spike still down back and the spawn sort of Carleton at this side, but really just going to try and push up slowly. Lost holding their angles for now, biding their time. Are they going to get the peek down onto the chamber? Fortunately, Hayden going to be able to find that Headhunter, first blood of the round, and now they've got entry onto the site.
Got entry onto the site. Sensei Moji with the headshot, and it's actually going to be retreating right back into Garage. Molly going to clear him out, but a flash. It's actually going to be good from Soup there in the trade as well. There's the team play coming through. A third from Sensei Moji, and Soup to clean up the round.
Yeah, incredibly quick execute, all those ghosts coming through, and it's Sensei Moji and Soup really able to link up in Garage, find all of these frags back to back to back, and to give a little bit more momentum over to the side of St. Clair College Academy Red. It's a mouthful to say in total. We're going to go with Saints Academy or something like that, just to keep it simple, but nonetheless, Carleton going to be sort of full saving this round. Only person to really buy anything is going to be Hayden Dom there with the Headhunter bullets as well as that light shield, and very curious to see if they continue to go for these sort of passive default executes, because that first round, incredibly slow, and it really gave St. Clair a lot of time to rotate over to these sites in time.
Yeah, it definitely gave them the time, and don't get me wrong, Hayden Dom with the pick right there initially, it was great to, start trying to clear out that site and start trying to work off of that initial pick. Just didn't work out. Sensei Moji anchored a deep back site and then immediately teleporting back to that Garage. Just so much coverage of the map there from that chamber TP. Actually, we did see one come out from Hayden just to rotate back over towards that other side. Looks like we're going to see possibly an A hit here through long. No one actually moving up sewers yet.
You can see Pans just sort of biding their time there. Has the curveball to potentially look for a little bit of an entry there, but only one blind in the inventory means it's going to be a little bit more difficult to execute onto the site, especially with Demon lurking in hell here, looking to try and find anything that they can with that Marshall. I believe they got a foot shot on to Water there, so a lot of that sky healing is taken off the table, but Ionator here push up mid here. You know, very, very slow, methodical play coming through from CU White thus far. They really don't want to push forward their advantages, and thus far, you know, it's been a minute into the round and no frags have dropped here. It means that they're going to have to find and execute quickly.
Yeah, and with so many classics on the board as well, you know those SMGs are going to be bought up. You can see the Omen there setting up a smoke, but really you're just waiting for those right clicks, those one-shot combos that you're able to find. Soup's going to find the first one through the smoke, but running right into a right click from the Eonator right there. Plant is going to be good from Snoozers. The push is going to come out once again. Headshots from the classic, clearing it up, but the time not in Carleton's hands, and there's the bot weapons that are going to come through. There's the Stinger clearing them out.
Yeah, really well played from the side of Saints Academy. You know, just biding their time, waiting to sort of execute onto that site. But once again, you'll lose a couple of your SMGs here. Not going to be the greatest of buys if they opt to buy. It's not going to be the greatest of situations to even full buy in that situation. So Soup going to have a little bit of extra dough in the bank. They're going to pick up a share for themselves, have enough to buy for next sort of deal. But on the flip side, you can see Hayden Dom not actually able to buy a gun at all. Still going to be sitting on that classic with just those headhunter bullets. So despite getting an early frag there in the last round and able to pick themselves up a little bit of economic advantage, they're not going to be able to execute too quickly on that. You know, it's just going to be headhunter bullets once again. But then again, you know, it's an 150 credit per bullet Guardian. You have a lot of agency still with that gun.
Yeah, oh, no. Of course it's going to be able to, you know, find those picks and have impact on the round. I think the real question in this round, though, is going to come down to how can Saints Academy here play against those rifles while they've got the Spectres in hand, because really that's all that's available. You see a classic, you see the headhunter there on Sensei Moji, but other than that, it's just going to be Spectres coming through. How is this execute going to come out? Fade Tracker going to come through hands, finding the first pick there. Sensei Moji nearsighted on site, waiting for someone to peek that close. Not going to happen just yet. It's actually the rotate coming through from Carleton.
A little bit of a rotate coming through from most of the members. Hayden Dom still trying to lock down this site, find anything. But Sensei Emoji, Headhunter's True, going to find that head as expected. Pans, though, pushed up through mid here with this Phantom. Going to be a devastating threat for a lot of these rotations. They just heard that Shrouded Step as well. Lost going to be running right into it. It's another pick by the side of Pans here. Now, the execute onto the A site going to be so much more difficult. You've got to worry about your flanks at all times now.
Yeah, the only problem I really see here from Carleton is they might be waiting almost just a little too long. Not going to spot out Demon in the 2K. Going to come through, dash out, not going to be good. Water is there long to clean it up, but the time is ticking, and really that's been the problem. But there's the kills coming through. The buy round going to be good for Carleton as they take their first here. Going to start trying to, you know, take this game back a little bit after those first two rounds not going their way.
And honestly, a really strong end to that round there. You know, time was on the side of Saints Academy, but not really able to pull the trigger in time. Not able to close out that round. Granted, really good job on sort of a bonus round, so to speak, to sort of even everything out, spread the economy around so that everyone's got at least the rifle in inventory. You can see the Stinger going to be in the inventory of Demon, but
knives as well.
You've got the knives available. That's where we're going with that, and we'll see if they're able to execute with that ultimate. Of course, we've seen so many times Jet Knives come out and then they get insta-tapped and you're like, might not have been the best of situations, but nonetheless, you can see Demon already holding this A-long corridor, really just trying to find any sort of angles. But once again, Carleton are perfectly content slowing the game down, waiting for any sort of missteps from the side of Saints Academy to really push them through and find some sort of overload onto a site.
Yeah, and, you know, on a map like Haven 3 sites, you really can slow down the game because there's not going to be enough time for everyone to rotate over. You can't just leave sites unattended unless you've got all the intel in the world, really. So it's just a bit of a longer map to play around, and that's why we've been seeing these slow baits up long. Hayden Dom getting into Cubby there, but, you know, last round we saw the rotation all the way back to A, and Demon tried their best to shut it down, but in the end it was Hands lurking up mid, actually, that really cleared out that round. And now, once again, we're back to this slow play. 40 seconds left. The time crunch is real.
You can see their spike hasn't really moved from the default and spawn thus far, you know. It's still in the hands of the Sky, just sort of waiting around. Pants has pushed up a lot here onto this A-long, but it's going to get spotted out by the drone. Now Torva able to drop down even more utility. Demon forced to use a knife actually there. Gonna try and get away from the dog as well. There's so much utility being dumped onto this Jet. Not going to be able to find any picks with that one, but look at this angle coming through from Torva, able to find one, but the execute just a little bit stronger from Carleton University White. They're going to be able to plant the spike with 7 seconds left, and now numbers disadvantage for the side of St. Clair Academy. 2 versus 4. Sensei Emoji's got a frag out here.
Yeah, no teleporter up on the chamber, no paranoia there from the Omen. Not really much in terms of retake potential. It could just be a wait for some picks kind of angle. There's one from Sensei Emoji in the window. Not going to find the second on site. Eonator going to be clearing them out, finding 3. I believe the first one was found onto Demon there. That's going to be the second round, evening it out from Carleton. And now this round is really going to, carry the momentum for whichever team finds this.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, it's just the momentum even being carried over from Carleton here. They've got their full buy on round 3 as expected from dropping the pistol round. They've gotten themselves a win against the full buy as well. So now it's a little bit of a mishmash buy coming through from the side of St. Clair, where they can afford, a Spectre, they can afford light shields, they can afford a couple of sheriffs, but it's not going to be anything too cohesive for them. Really just going to try and rely on this tour de force to find as many frags as possible. Already though, Sensei Emoji been spotted out there on this C site. Dog going to come through, Prowler going to come through. Really going to come down to how well they can resist the push coming through, but Omen ult as well going to be expended onto the back of site. Eonator just sort of scouting out the area, and it's just Sensei Emoji here.
Yeah, there's the ultimate going to come in from Pans there on the Phoenix. You're out, Sensei Emoji. Get out of there alive, and now you've got the spike planted. A player up, now 2 players up. Great headshot there from Water, and now you really can just play this post plant. It's going to be Saints Academy, really. You're on the save, right? You got to try and find some kills here. Demon, absolute demon on that Sheriff. Finds the one onto Eonator. Water, second of the round, though. Now, Demon, you've picked up a Phantom. So you've at least got a weapon in your hand, but it's Hayden Tom. Look at those shots. That's going to be round 3. A little expected just based on the buys, but the pick from Demon definitely going to help out, taking at least 1 rifle out of the hands of Carleton there, but this buy not necessarily going to be where Saints Academy wants it to be.
And the Econs are still in really, really good shape, if we're being honest here. And on the side of St. Clair, it's a lot of light shields getting bought to supplement buying all this utility to make sure that they can defend these sites well. No drone going to come through on Torva. Instead, going to opt for the full shields and everything. Has enough to actually buy the drone as well, but just opting to save a little bit of extra credits in that sense. And I think a little bit of nerves coming through, it feels like, from the side of Saints Academy after the first couple of rounds. Never mind, even going to be able to find one with the op, but after the first couple of rounds, it started to turn around for them. Now, Nightfall going to execute onto this site. Lots of damage being taken, lots of residual damage taken by Demon, just trying to get off site here. Nonetheless, it's a quick execute now coming through from Carleton. First time all game as Pans is able to find one onto Torva already. Going to be trying to back off is Demon, but might be walking right into an Omen as well. On the site has been really messy, but Carleton able to get it done.
Yeah, the Sky Ultimate going to come out there. Cracker's going to be shot down. Not sure if anywhere landed. Pans here under Heaven as well. It's going to be really hard to take this back. You do have the Paranoia available this time, and you're only 1 player down. The question is, are they going to try and make this happen? Sensei Emoji setting up the TP, getting ready for this push that's about to come out.
You're really curious to see if they can execute onto the site at all, because these site holds from the side of Carleton have been really, really strong. And thus far, being down even just 1 member, you can see how much caution, I want to say, how much apprehension there is coming through from the side of Saints Academy. They want to save these guns as opposed to forcing themselves down the economic hole once again. They're just going to back right off and save the guns here, despite it only being a 1-man disadvantage. They're not confident enough in their retake ability right now to be able to get back onto that site. And interestingly enough, you still had enough numbers to make it work. You're just not sure about those angles, and maybe a little bit of rust coming through from them not trusting their aim to land the shots onto Carleton University White.
Yeah, I think it's like half caution, half respect, right? You know that when you try to make this retake, you're gonna lose. Even if it's successful, you're losing 1-2 members in the process. Are losing the guns worth it? You've got Demon on the op there. Yeah, it's Jet on the op, but I don't think Dash was available, if I'm correct. And really, do you want to lose that op is the question. It's such a heavy investment. You might as well bring it into the next round where you can find another pick to get things started and really put that op to work, because the second you lose it, it's such a deficit to your economy.
It's a big Retron dart coming through, actually, from Torva already, able to find a couple of members. Shock dart's actually going to come through as well. Lots of util being dumped here by Torva to sort of dissuade this A push. You know, last couple of rounds, it's worked really well for the side of Carleton. They don't want to have that recreated, but of course, the power of Haven. You rotate right out here. Pan's going to just fire off some shots, make some noise on the site, but look at where everyone else is. They've already creeped their way back over towards these other angles. Torva actually going to spot out Pans here. Might be time to say goodbye. Phoenix going to be heading out of that one, but now Aiden actually going to reveal themselves in garage here. Soup getting a couple shots down, but that's the gun difference right there. Spectre versus the Vandal going to be detrimental, but Demon going to be able to find a pick.
Yeah, but it's actually the Spectre that's going to force that rotation out of garage from the chamber, and now you're a player up. Low health on Soup, however, but here's Sensei Moji in the back sight. Gonna be able to find that kill. Flash does land, but you find it before. Soup clearing one more out, and Demon with that operator. There it is. First pick comes through in the round, and then the operator to clean it up as well. And that's really where that save from last round is gonna find the value.
Yeah, Demon doing a great job of picking up 3 for themselves. This operator gonna be so important because it's the most expensive gun in the game. You gotta find value out of that, and if you're finding 3 kills in a round for yourself, you're gonna be feeling pretty good about that. And now Demon moving around to where they're spotting up. I believe first round they had the operator, it was a long, then it was actually a short that they post up. Now looking towards mid, trying to find an early pick off into the round. Granted, opposite side once again, very default coming through, and early on just a quick pick. I don't know what Chamber was doing there. Dude needed a map. He was lost.
Yeah, fully Flash just starts jumping around, and it's gonna be just easy shots there for Demon in mid. Eonator gonna fall to Sensei Moji. Sensei Moji's shots have been on point today. Soup gonna trade one out before falling, and it's Water to find 2. Can't find the third though. Torva shutting down the fade, evening out the rounds. Saints Academy are not down and out just yet.
Exactly. Really well played from them. I mean, Sensei Moji was able to find multiple picks in that round there. Tried to shoot the Skybird. Remember, can't do that anymore, unfortunately. Skybird's now indestructible after the recent flash changes, so, you know, all of us sometimes forget how Valorant patches work. You know, for the longest time, I forgot Fracture got changed, and then got changed again before I knew it. So, regardless here, it is tied up at 4 apiece here. Finally, the economies from Carleton White are under a little bit of stress here. You know, this is sort of their last buy before they've got to potentially save up, and this round going to be pretty pivotal. But once again, seems quite default. A little bit more presence towards the C site here, though, from the side of Carleton University White. I'm curious to see what the answer is from the side of St. Clair, if they're going to rotate over in time here, because you can see it is only Sensei Moji holding the site for now. Granted, only shots being fired right now, only the Skydog being used. Not too much investment yet from Carleton University. They have that agency to rotate, and they will at a moment's notice.
Yeah, all the intel that Carleton was really able to grasp was that, yes, there's someone on site, right? The flash is going to reveal that. Now the trail's going to be detected. They know that it's the chamber. So the real question is, where are they going to commit to? Because once again, finding ourselves 45 seconds into the round here. I'm still ticking down. The execute. Typically, I feel like the execute's got to come down before that 30-second mark, or else you're putting yourself in a position where if your first initial plant gets shut down, then it's just a scramble to that spike to see who can get it down, and just easy shots for the side of Saints Academy. So slow this time. It is going to be the creep up C. Sensei Moji, that anchor on site, going to find the first one, TP out. And there it is. Site control given over to Carleton, but not without a price tag.
Yeah, price tag is going to be one of those members, but Pan's trying to find the blind through. Not going to be enough, just into 3 members who were full blind. You know, it was a great flash, but wasn't able to land those shots. Now Torva trying to scout out the area. It's a 5v3 situation. You're going to actually use those Seekers right away. Sensei Moji going to find another kill, 3rd one of the round. Ace alert potentially here. Going to be able to get onto site as well. Soup trying to clear this one out, but Demon and Torva going to clean up the rest of them. Great retake coming through from St. Clair. I believe that's the first time they've had a really successful retake working out in their favor this time around. Granted, those health bars blinking red, it was that close.
Oh, it was definitely close there, and especially, yeah, all of those fights that didn't really end in a headshot definitely ended in some damage being traded out side to side, but it's going to be Soup and Torva able to live their gunfights, able to also just pull the economy back for Saints Academy here. I mean, you've got the money to buy a round or two into the future, and now you've also got the round lead into Hayden Dom does pop the Tour de Force, but light armor on the chamber.
And glass cannon of, in a sense there. Of course, on the flip side, Sensei Moji has that available as well if they so desire. Curious to see how the executes work through. It's actually quick destruction on that recon bolt, so that's some information given. No matter what, that recon bolt will always give you some level of information, whether you actually spot them out or whether you just say, hey, someone shot it. It does give a decent amount of information, but of course Pan's already sort of posted up here on this sewers angle. Lost is known, their location is known. We'll have to find out what they're able to find with the rest of this, because this is a quicker execute, but already Hayden Dom gonna find a pick on a suit.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed about Pans too, instead of going for like the quick you know, jiggle peek, 1-2 shots and out, they just keep that shoot button held down while they're swinging back off of the jiggle, because honestly, I think it's a super valid strategy in Valorant. The amount of running headshots that can be found, the amount of stray bullets that fly around, it's just so different to a lot of the other games in the genre, where I don't think it's too bad, especially on the Phantom too, where those bullets are flying out fast and they're a lot more accurate than the Vandal on the run.
Got your trail.
Pan's gonna try and find this, you know, sitting in this Omen smoke. Oh my goodness, in full view of Lost, but Lost not gonna be able to land the shots. Once again, 30-second rule. We've been talking about this here. 30 seconds left in the round. You're able to find the execute here. Torva gonna get caught down by Water as well. Water finds 2 in a row there. Now, the Phoenix ultimate expended as well to try and find the extra members. You can see it. Sensei Moji just trying to hold as much space as possible. Gonna be able to find that pick onto the Phoenix ult, but still so much time left in this round. NECC is going to come through as well. This is so difficult for Sensei Moji, getting flanked without even knowing it. The sound cue is completely gone. Hayden Dom pinching up through B here. Amber going to be the only one left alive, but in a 1v5 situation, it's so dire. You've got to find these quick peeks at the very least. Now spotted out here. Going to be taken, actually take one down with the Eonator, but it will be traded back. They're finally able to collect another round for themselves. 5-all this matchup.
Yeah, pick up the AWP for Carleton as well. They don't got to spend their money on their own. Luckily for the Saints, they had built up a bit of a nest egg there in their pockets, so they're going to be able to rebuy right back up, but that round really falling apart. Water, such a rock-solid player on this team right now. Often it comes down to the fade that has to hold those defensive, those post-plant situations, and really, Water, not crazy flashy like Pan's coming in with some of these picks, Hayden Dom with those wallbang headshots. No, Water just comes in, finds the picks, and takes those numbers advantages. There's the first shot whiffed by Sensei Moji. AWP versus AWP, but the Tour de Force only limited to 5 shots there.
And realistically here, Sensei Moji burning that one is going to be key information. You know where this chamber's posted up. Now, do they know that they teleported out? They didn't in that situation, but of course, Demon get caught with a little bit of a shoulder peek there. Phoenix has taken control of this garage. Going to give that one up as the dog comes through as well. Once again, Carleton playing slow. 40 seconds of util dumping here. Going to back off here with a minute remaining. They've got to find some sort of execute. But every single time we say that, it's always 30 seconds. They're going to look for something. And this time around, starting to pinch up towards this A long area. It looks like an A execute. It's been quite successful for them thus far. I don't think that Saints have been able to retake A at all in this set.
Yeah, and I think it's really come down to picks on the other side of the map as well. So the real question is, how is this 5v5 execute going to go down? You have Torva anchoring on the site. You have Lost there finding the first one, but both of them fall. And now we're back to this A retake situation. 4 players up from Carleton, and like you said, Saints haven't been successful on this retake just yet. You know, they found some picks, they found some kills, but just have not been able to get that bomb defusal come down.
And Sensei Moji with 43 health, not going to be in the best of shapes. You know, body shot +1 going to be enough to take him down. But as you can see, just trying to hold these angles as well as possible. Kerple actually going to get a great blind, but Sensei Moji overkilling on that sense. It's just going to be Water left alive here, trying to find a flank around. Has full health, but do they have the time here? Look at the angle that's being held by this chamber. Going to try their best, going to be able to flick that one down. Sensei Moji going to come through in the clutch, finding another kill for themselves. And that's going to push them to 6 at the very least. Worst case scenario, it's a 6-6 half.
Yeah, Tour de Force, we saw that whiffed shot initially, but I think every other shot that round from the Tour de Force was a hit, and I believe it was 2 from Sensei Moji that round to clean it up. Is Water left at the end there? You know, that solid player, that top fragger from Carleton University, but not able to pull it through when you're in that 1v2 situation.
It's a tough situation to put the fade into, but once again, Water's done really well at sort of holding their own in this one. We're going to get full buys to close out this half for both of these teams. So at the very least, going to be looking for something aggressive. Haydendom, though, now with the Operator in hand, going to be going up against the Vandal here only, and it seems like Vandal is better than Phantom in some situations. Sensei Moji going to be able to land the shots down. That's a big pickup to start your round if you're St. Clair Academy.
Yeah, 100%. Not only did you just take the op out of the hands of Carleton now, but you're also just taking that chamber player out of the picture, out of the question. Not going to have to worry about it. Pan's coming in. First flash going to be good. Finds Loss. Korva, quick turn from the flash. There's the shot. Eonator, great trade to come out. And now teams are looking dead even. Here's once again this A-hit going to happen. It's been pretty successful barring that last round. So Carleton, I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't go for it.
And Eonator just holding this hell angle is just so difficult to deal with, but 2 and Heaven already coming through. You're going to be coming from the long flank as well. Demon at least revealing their position. They don't know how many are up there, but it's going to be cut down right away. Sensei Moji, Soup going to be able to trade them back and forth. It is simply down this last member. Are they going to be able to find the angle? No. Water once again holding it down in the clutch. Going to be a 6-6 half for both of these squads as now we flip the map. And St. Clair College, decent defensive half after a little bit of a rough going in the middle there. They were able to bring it back.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they definitely were playing on the back foot for a bit. And a lot of that came down to just Water shutting down a lot of the retakes. When you saw that first player that would come to rotate, Water would be there with the headshot, and then you're just stuck in numbers disadvantage trying to play that retake on the A site there. And, you know, it worked out for Carleton University in most of their rounds. Able to take it to 6-6, keep them dead even here going into the second half. Once again, we're seeing ghosts all around here, but it's Haydendom who you know they've got those headhunter shots picked up.
Yeah, I believe it would be 4 headhunter shots alongside that trademark just sort of close down in the area as well. You can see very aggressive coming through from Saints Academy already, but look at this angle from Pan's already pinched up there. Demon full blind, going to be able to find that one. Checking PC after that one, but it's traded out from Snoozers. Right here. The Sheriff actually coming through from Torva as well. Knows that there's a member in the area, but look at this angle from Sensei Emoji. What a rat angle. Chamber able to find it now. Actually going to be Torva pushing forward again. Revealed out in that side once again. It's been a strong start to this attacking half from St. Clair, but they're starting to slow it down a little bit. I say that as Sensei Moji going for an aggressive trade onto Water.
Yeah, and you've got the numbers advantage here. Sensei Moji maybe half health, but now that they've rotated back towards that C site, fairly safe from danger. Eonator playing a super close angle up mid here. Might be able to find Lost actually, but turned away for half a second, and Lost is too quick on the Ghost. Water, though, cutting him down once again. Now 2v3 for Carleton to try and make something happen in this pistol round. Eye is available. You've got the intel able to be gathered as long as Saints aren't quick on shooting it down.
You can see a little bit of a fake coming through from Torva as well. They're sort of main out towards Long, but indeed they were a lot closer there, Torva, with this Sheriff just putting down the damage. It's all down to Snoozers here on the sky. The blind, though, going to come through. Soup finds the head with a classic headshot. It's a team ace. Everyone got on the board with that one. It's a good pistol round once again from St. Clair.
Yeah, they know their way around the pistol round. You know, their blunder last half, it really just came down to that round after where they didn't really play to their weapons' strength. They kind of just took these long-range fights against Vandals and kind of let Carleton have their way with the map, really. They didn't give too much pressure back, and Carleton was able to just walk right in on their full buy and take those. So, you know, I don't see the advance round going Carleton's way here. We only see the Shorty bot on defense. Obviously, the Shorty can put in a ton of work, as well as that headhunter shot stored up. Soup gonna find another pick backwards, even out the numbers. Sensei Moji, here's the Spectres coming through in full effect, and that is gonna be C-Site fully cleared out there for St. Clair, and Academy should be able to find this plant now and just play the slow game.
or the fast game, realistically. I mean, look at where Torva's posted up there. They're in CT there, just sort of hanging out, trying to find what they can. But a couple of members coming through here, actually able to pick up a Spectre. That's going to be a big pickup for this guy. But even then, nothing on Pans. Pans going to get cut down by Lost here, just spamming through the smoke at this point. It is such a challenge for Carleton White to be able to clean this one up. Sensei Moji here as well. Just up close and personal, going to be actually taken down by Snoozers. Spectre working overtime, but now one shot is going to be enough. Torva is going to spam it through once again. Torva's had a really good start to this attacking half thus far.
Yeah, Sensei Moji wasn't able to clean it up there. The crouch actually came out from Snoozers there and was able to just make that spray whiff. That's the value of the crouch against some of these good, these high-level players who they're always going to be locked onto your head. That's where crouching becomes like a mix-up of sorts. And the headshot, though, it gave just enough damage to let Torva, spam through that smoke with the Sheriff, find the kill there. And this is really going to be the decisive round because this is where Saints Academy kind of started falling apart last half. They gave a few too many rounds away over to Carleton that a few of them really could have been Saints.
Yeah, I think the main thing is just keeping in mind that you are working with limited inventories here. Of course, as you see, one shot comes through as the teleport comes out as well. Are holding down this garage. A difficult angle to hold as well with that smoke intact. But nonetheless, as you were saying, it's a very difficult situation where on your bonus round, if you're able to get a win, it's so huge. It pushes you forward so much. You get up to 10-11 if you're the side of Saints Academy. If you lose the bonus round, it's really about bouncing back right after, taking that momentum back. What we saw was that Carleton was able to get a lot of momentum off of their full buy. They were able to bonus after it for at least another couple of rounds, so they were really successful in that full buy round. And now, Saints are playing it a lot slower, trying to take advantageous gunfights for themselves, and now starting to execute onto this A side. Let's see if St. Clair is able to execute on this A side as well as Carleton were able to, as now the push comes through. Lost going to be getting the plant down. Even going to get shot down, and now here comes the retake attempt from Carleton.
Yeah, there's the strings, not going to land on anybody just yet, but Prowler's coming out. Not sure if one of them landed or if it was shot down. Sounded like the shot down, but Bill's going back and forth. Water finding two before being traded out. Just Sensei Moji left. Time is ticking, but still a lot of time for the side of Carleton. And there's the swing from Snoozers. The full buy going to come through. Bill's going to be good. 8-7 now. Will we see a repeat of last half in terms of the scoreline here?
I want to point out that this time, though, St. Clair on their bonus took a lot of rifles out of the hands. They were able to do some serious economic damage. And you look at the buys now, Water's not really going to be able to buy a gun with shields, might be forced onto something like a Bulldog or forced to drop all that util. Instead, opts for the Sheriff light shield. So that's not a full buy. Looking down at Haydendom and Ionator, Haydendom always going to have those Headhunter bullets, but Ionator here, Shorty gonna sit in the smoke, whereas on the flip side you've got full buy, save the full shields on Soup as well. So once again, a little bit of a shift from that first half there. St. Clair have more in the tank, and this time around, especially on defense, it's a little bit easier to play more passively. You don't have to do as much. Of course, you want to try and push that advantage. You get a little bit more credits for yourself as well. Carleton already being taken advantage of there, as it was already a quick pick, but now Ionator on this close angle. He's going to get shot down from Garage, and this is looking really good for the side of Saints Academy. Demon finds a third.
Yeah, and Demon actually found that. The intel was not there from Ionator because Demon used that updraft, fly over that rotation point there. With Garage and Soup going to clean him up. I mean, Flawless coming through, and yeah, we kind of expected it after looking at the buys, and now Saints Academy, you could run with this and just keep on going. Could take that 10th round, maybe even an 11th, especially if you shut down this operator buy from Haydendom. That's really going to be that, Hayden's going to be out of the game for a few rounds if this operator buy doesn't come through. It's really just going to be, what can you put in with the Headhunter for 2 or 3 rounds?
Exactly. I think main thing to keep in mind is Haydendom here with light shields. So, a spray down could be your demise at that, even from a Phantom from range there. It is still 4 bullets to take him down, but at the same time, you don't really have that extra little safety that sometimes you have with the large shields there. But could be the Seekers popped as well. Sky going to try and scout everyone out here. Let's say Moji, you can see just hiding in that smoke as well. The Water's on this B site. You get enough information. Ionator forced to back off because of it, but Lost. Gotta find that first pick onto Pans once again. And Sensei Moji, look at how quickly they've moved up here, though. The shots not quite gonna land. A spray down, whiffing a lot of shots there, but nonetheless, the plant still gonna come through despite some of those aims.
Yeah, the plan comes through, and Sensei Moji makes it out fairly unscathed. I think they took one shot through the wall there, but that was really about it. Now Hayden Dom gets forced to play the retake on the operator. Lost has to trade back 2 to keep them in this round. Demon, I believe that was Demon's second. There it is, Sensei Moji to clean it up, but and was that scary for the Saints for a sec? I mean, when you've got that operator taking one through the wall so quickly, just off of really just a pre-fire, just to check the angle, it's really just came down to Lost clearing out those second 2 that were going to be on the entry, and now you've got 3 rounds to take here for Saints.
Yeah, that was a check him PC angle if I've ever seen one there, you know, just shooting right through the box. Of course, it's an expected spot for people to yeah, you know, you almost expect them to be there, but also when it happens, just like, oh, yeah, that was a little bit weird. Looking at this, though, Hayden Dom going to be checking out the tour de force here, but might have just missed the timing. Never mind. Sensei Moji going to come down as well as Hayden Dom going to be really integral to this round. We mentioned, you know, wasn't able to buy much off of the alt buy, but was still able to get at least those alt points stacked up. So they have that in the inventory. Granted, the rest of those inventories, it's a stinger, it's a frenzy, it's a classic coming through. Going to be difficult for the side of Carleton to be able to hold the site, but Hayden Dom really going to be that important member. Still trying to execute onto this A site. Lost though. Just oh my goodness, this timing. He's so scary, but Snoozer's not actually going to be able to find us now. The execute onto A site comes through.
Here it is. Demon going to come in. Dash smoke so prevalent on that jet. It's going to give so much space on the site here, and Hayden Dom second of the round with that tour de force. Going to be moving up to this heaven angle. Straight through the Phoenix wall is actually going to be good for Soup Torva as well. Oh, great shots there from Soup, catching falling Dom there. Snoozers getting out onto Soup, and now it's Demon in the 1v1. You pop the knives, but gonna fall. That is so much lost for the Saints in that round, and it all came off the back of the tour de force there from Hayden Dom. Snoozers cleaning up the Thrifty. That's going to be 10-8 now. Carleton nowhere near done with this Haven game.
And I mean, really well played from Carleton to be able to turn that around in their favor. Granted, once again, the economy is not going to be great for them, but looks like we're going to get a timeout coming through here, as just trying to cool off a little bit. It was a little bit of an overheat, I dare say, from the side of the Jet. Just popping those knives there, trying to find that last little pick to really put the nail in the coffin, but at the same time, just a little bit too much. You overreach a little bit, makes it really difficult. But now at 10-8 here, Saints Academy, what have you liked from them, and what have you sort of wanted to see more of?
I'm liking just straight aggression here on the attack, right? We've seen a lot of rounds where it's just come, you know, these executes have come off a pick from Sensei Moji, a pick from even someone like Soup, who just throws a flash out there and it happens to land, and teams able to convert off of that. And I think they just have to keep that rolling. Obviously, that last round is definitely gonna hurt. You pop the knives as well as losing all of those weapons in your arsenal, and it's all being shut down by a tour de force as well. So not a single dollar spent by Hayden Dom that round, you know, barring some utility probably. It's definitely gonna hurt. I think they just got to keep this aggression alive and keep the numbers advantage, because it's what's been working out for them. Even if it's just, you know, get a pick at A and rotate all the way over to C, right? It works out. But you can't be making those post-plant blunders like that.
Exactly. I think just keeping the heat in check, Hayden Dom, though. They're hot at this point. Finding a pick with the op early on onto Soup. Going to be meaning quite well for them. Able to pose up on a really scary secondary angle as well on the C site. Might not be expected from Torva, who might be hunting up this angle. Jump peek it actually will spot out the op, so now knows to back off, but already a quick pick early on into this round means St. Clair are going to be playing at a little bit of a disadvantage here. Snoozer is actually even going to spot out where the lurker is up in that cubby on B.
Yeah. There's going to be a pick down now. Saints, you've got to choose this site wisely. You've got to get the intel that you can find. Pan's now creeping all the way up long here. This could be devastating for Saints Academy if no one's watching it. If there's any player you want watching it, Demon might be the one.
slowly walking over. The op misses once again. My goodness. Saints are happy to be living with their lives. Those 2 op shots land. This round is donezo for the side of St. Clair College Academy.
30 seconds
Smoke's
left.
going to come down onto this heaven area. Once again, 30-second rule is in effect. You got to pick up the pace here. Smoke going to come down. The op still posted up in hell. This is going to be such a difficult angle to hold. Got to plant the spike at some point here. Is going to come through as well. This is still being held by the operator. We're actually going to find another one onto Demon there. This is such a difficult plant. Lost trying to find anything, but it's 3 picked up for Hayden Dom. It's looking like almost the 4th one, but Water are going to be able to collect that one. Snoozer is going to be able to find it. It's the spike money picked up, but even after that timeout, Saints Academy take a tough loss in this round.
Yeah, and we've really just been... That's kind of been the story tonight. It's like Saints Academy find, a tiny lead, and then Carleton bounces back. They're able to grab some guns back, find more and more rounds for themselves, and more very successful rounds, might I add. Like, there's a difference between a round ending in a 1v1 and, you drop 4 weapons on your team, 4 rifles are down, you got to rebuy next round. There's a big difference between that and already having the numbers advantage going in to the execute that comes out, and then just absolutely cleaning house with that operator.
And I mean, looking at the economies now, Snoozers has so much money in the bank. They've got enough to buy out at least until probably the round before overtime, if not overtime altogether. Soup now. Scout this one out, but overall, just a little bit of a tough situation. Actually going to be the ultimate coming through from the Omen as well. Scout everyone out. Tour de Force going to be popped as well from the side of St. Clair College, but already the op coming in favor of Hayden Dom. Once again, has been so true with these shots, but Spike's still going to come down with a lot of time remaining. This is a more balanced execute coming through. I say that as Pans is able to find one with the ultimate lost, able to take him down, but already down to a 2v4 situation. Academy got to find something. Hayden Dom, they're going down. Sensei Emoji looking for it, finds 1, finds 2, but it's not going to be quite enough. Water and Pan's going to be able to clutch out once again. We're tied at 10s here, and this game is starting to get real tough for Saints Academy because their economy is in shambles.
Yeah, that spray transfer not going to be good from Sensei Moji, and yeah, this is going to be a tough one. I mean, you've got 6K on a few members, but then you see someone like Lost just sitting down there, 2,500 in the bank. What do? Do you wait for next round? Do you buy with your team here? You're going to have to grab something like the Bulldog. Is probably your best option, and I'm a huge fan of the Bulldog actually on defense. I mean, we all know how good that 3-round burst is and how valuable it can be. Also see that light armor Guardian there from Torva. I almost would have more liked to see just like a full armor Bulldog like we saw from Lost. That's going to hurt for the rest of the round. Leg comes out from the operator, and Demon going to be able to make it back to 100 there, but not too much more. There's Hayden Dom, first pick. Dropping the op to Hayden Dom is actually, it's actually ended Saints Academy's entire lead. There's the next one going to come through. Pans keeps clearing them out. The heals are going to come out as well. Sensei Moji not going to opt to push that. Sensei Moji and Lost left here, but you're staring down 3 extra members on Carleton that you got to take down.
Call it a crutch, call it whatever you want. It's been absolutely massive for the side of Carleton and Hayden Dom here. Just been able to find kill after kill after kill. Torva been peeking out the C-Long. You know that the op is there. Why bother peeking it? It's been a similar setup from Hayden Dom 3-4 rounds in a row, and yet they keep falling into the teeth of it. Actually, Lost going to be able to turn them back around. Hayden Dom going to be taken down full blind there. Lost able to find another one, but realistically, not that much damage done to the side of Carleton White. They've still got enough to rebuy the op if necessary. Seems like they didn't quite pick it up in time, but yeah, Hayden Dom has that. They've got the Tour de Force online as well. They've got so many tools for themselves, and Lost, they've been able to pick it up in the last couple of rounds. It's still just really difficult for them to push through, and now you're forced to almost full save at this point. You don't have anything left in the bank. You've got to try and push yourself a thrifty here, lest you go even to overtime or lose the map right here down.
Yeah, not to mention, I mean, you're only looking at 2 rounds for Carleton, and look at those ultimates build up. Not only do you have the economy built up, but the ultimates as well, 4 available. 2 of those being amazing for taking a site, and then you've got the Tour de Force should that op ever come down. Demon, there's 2 in the garage, just running in and clearing out water after Pans falls. Ionator ready on that blind, but not going to give too much, just stalls out for a second there. Demon going to push in. Sensei Moji, Guardian, mean, you're coming from the Headhunter to the Guardian. They're really just the same gun. What's the difference? Gonna be just as solid on that weapon. 2 players left from Carleton. Will they opt for the save is the question.
It's a long retake at that, but, you know, it's so difficult as well if you're able to get down this op. There's enough to be able to rebuy it as well. Snoozer's going to spot out all of these members, going to go for the blind as well. Everyone turning away from that as well. Sensei Moji with the true rat angle there. Torva able to find it as well. Sensei Moji down, trying to hold his garage angle. You can see they're just closing in like a scary hug coming through from the side of St. Clair College. They're going to be able to find a round, a very clean round at that, and it was necessary considering their economies. Now Sensei Moji with the operator in hand. Torva still has that Guardian, and now all of a sudden Carleton need to be a little bit weary here because their economy is not in the best of spots. Granted, Hayden Dom, they've been so good with the operator, they've been so good with the tour de force. You lose one, you pick up the other. Should be all fair and square here. But yes, this map has been back and forth at the best of times, Fundy. I'm expecting overtime at this point. I would be disappointed if we don't get overtime.
Yeah, with how many rounds we've had a dead even scoreline like this. We saw it at half. We've seen it at multiple points in both halves. Hayden Dom, I don't think Torva spotted out Hayden Dom there. So Hayden Dom has the info as well as the tour de force in hand. There's the Jiggle actually just going to teleport out. Goes down sewers. This could be devastating, but at the same time, not patient enough. Are they going to commit to it is the question. Are Saints going to commit to this? You've got the bomb there, and you've got 2 other players making waves on the other side of the map. There's Soup, pops the ultimate on C-side, a couple flashes as well, but Hayden Dom shut down immediately. That's big for Saints Academy. Shutting down the tour de force right after losing the operator as well. Hayden Dom got nothing more for the rest of these rounds. Plant going to go down as well as the numbers advantage now for St. Clair College.
And it seems as if Hayden just got a little bit impatient. You know, took back the teleporter, took back all that util as well. Pans, though, going to be able to find the wallbang headshot on to Demon. Look at this retake. Nightfall coming through, going to tag up almost everyone in this situation. So quick onto the site is Carleton White. Look at how quickly they turn the Jets on, and now Sensei Moji, while they're able to find a pick with that op, still going to be difficult to sort of clear out this round. Torva now burning down the Hunter's focus as well. This is so much burn. Pans is holding down that defuse. Can they find it? His pros do not fake. Pan's going to hold it down, and Carleton get to 12. And now St. Clair, they're going to need to tie this one up. That was such a good start to the round, and it all fell apart.
Yeah, wow, especially it really came down to those ultimates. We saw 3 ultimates burned there from the side of Carleton. Actually 4 counting the tour de force as well, but just on the retake there, 3 total, and it really just came down to the fact that there was too many colors flying in the screen of Saints Academy's faces there, not to mention all the smokes as well, all that site control being grabbed by Eonator. They also win the round off the back of Eonator's 3K there. Now match or game point here for Carleton University. St. Clair College, you gotta push this to overtime. Everything has to be burned this round. We see the knives come out. Spectre as well in hand. Question is, how slow are they gonna play this, really? Here the drone came out from, I believe that was Torva.
Yeah. I got the spike. Brew, it's a slow start here. You can see just really waiting to execute. This is gonna be full 5v5. Gonna get destroyed as well. They know where it is, but look at where Hayden Dom is hiding in the smoke. Always a menace to deal with. Actually miss a shot as well, but Demon's taking so much damage on the outside here. So is Water. Time is not on your side if you're Carleton here. It's still 5v5 on this map. So difficult to retake here, but a big swing coming through from Pans. He finds 2 right on the head. Lost gonna be able to turn one back around 2v4, though. Gonna be so difficult. Soup needs to come in the clutch here with the shorty. Not gonna be able to find it. And just like that, Carleton University White are able to find 3 rounds in a row to close out this first map. St. Clair, they just overheated just that little bit. Gave enough opportunity for Carleton to close the door. Saints Academy going to be down 0-1 in this series to open us off. And what an exciting game nonetheless.
It's weird. Like, I'm more surprised that we didn't go to overtime rather than, you know, being surprised that Carleton was able to take that out. It was just such a close match the entire time, and really just came down to those retakes. Just better from Carleton in the end. The defensive side, in my opinion, just played out better by Carleton.
it seems as if it was just a little bit cleaner overall. There was a little bit more definition into what Carleton wanted to do on their retakes. And in a lot of ways, you know, it was that fade util coming through. It was the chamber. Hayden Dom on that operator, so clean, you know. If you could have, like, agent bans, gun bans or something, you know, that would be at the top there. You know, Hayden Dom, no chamber for you, no operator for you. Get this guy off of those snipers. But nonetheless, very curious to see how Saints Academy bounce back because, of course, I believe we are going to Ascent bind one of those maps next.
Ascent, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe it is Ascent, yeah. So Ascent is going to be next, and it's a little bit of a different map. Once again, 12 rounds for the Saints on defense, guaranteed. Curious to see how they turn that one around. But nonetheless, we're going to head to a short break here, get reset here, give the teams a little bit of time to reset there because Saints Academy got to get back in the saddle here, pick up this map too. We'll be right back. Of Carleton at this side, but really just going to try and push up slowly, lost hold in their angles for now, biding their time. Are they going to get the peek down onto the chamber? Unfortunately, Hayden going to be able to find that headhunter, first blood of the round, and now they've got entry onto the site.
Entry onto the site, Sensei Moji with the headshot, and it's actually going to be retreating right back into Garage. Molly going to clear him out, but a flash actually going to be good from Soup there in the trade as well. There's the team play coming through. A third from Eonator right there. Plant is going to be good from Snoozers. The push is going to come out once again. Headshots from the Classic clearing it up, but the time not in Carleton. To be good, water is there long to clean it up, but the time is ticking, and really that's been the problem. But there's the kills coming through. The buy round going to be good for Carleton.
Able to find one, but the execute just a little bit stronger from Carleton University White. They're going to be able to find the spike with 7 seconds left. Now, numbers disadvantage for the side of St. Clair Academy. 2 versus 4. Sensei moving a lot of frag out here.
Yeah, no teleporter up on the chamber. No paranoia there from the Omen. Not really much in terms of retake potential. It could just be a wait for some picks kind of angle. There's one from Sensei Moji in the window. Not going to find the second on site. Eonator going to be clearing him out. Academy really, you're on the save, right? You got to try and find some kills here. Demon, absolute demon on that Sheriff. Finds the one onto Eonator. Water, second of the round though. Demon, you've picked up a Phantom. You've at least got a weapon in your hand, but it's being look at those shots. Player up. Low health on Soup, however, but here's Sensei Moji in the back sight. Gonna be able to find that kill. Flash does land, but you find it before. Soup clearing one more out. Demon with that operator. There it is. A price tag.
Price tag is gonna be one of those members, but Pen's trying to find the blind through. Not gonna be enough. Just into 3 members for full blind. You know, it was a great flash, but wasn't able to land those shots. Now Corva trying to scout out the area. It's a 5v3 situation. You're gonna actually use those seekers right away. Sensei Moji gonna find another kill, third one of the round. Ace alert potentially here. Be able to get onto site as well. Soup trying to clear this one out, but Demon and Torba gonna clean up the rest of them.
Just yet, you know, they found some picks, they found some kills, but just have not been able to get that bomb.
Sensei Moji with 43 health, not going to be in the best of shapes. You know, body shot +1 going to be enough to take him down, but as you can see, just trying to hold these angles as well as possible. Careful, actually going to get a great blind, but Sensei Moji overkilling on that sense. It's just going to be Water left alive here, trying to find a flank around, has full health. Do they have the time here? Look at the angle that's being held by this chamber. Going to try their best, going to be able to flick that one down. Sensei Moji long, but indeed they were a lot closer there, Torva, with this Sheriff, just putting down the damage. It's all down to Snoozers here on the sky. The blind, though, going to come through. Soup.
The shorty bought on defense. Obviously, the shorty can put in a ton of work, as well as that headhunter shot stored up. Soup's going to find another pick backwards, even out the number. They took one shot through the wall there. That was really about it. Now Hayden Dog is forced to play the retake on the operator. Lost, has to trade back 2 to keep them in this round. Demon, I believe that was Demon's second. There it is. Sensei Moji another round with that tour de force. Moving up to this heaven angle, straight through the Phoenix wall is actually going to be good for Soup. Torva as well. Oh, great shots there from Soup, catching falling Dom there. Snoozers getting out onto Soup, and now it's even in the 1v1. You pop the knives, but our Saint's going to commit to this. You've got the bomb there, and you've got 2 other players making waves on the other side of the map. There's Soup, pops the ultimate on C-side, a couple flashes as well, but Hayden Dom shut down.
Gonna be able to find the wall bang headshot on Demon. Look at this retake. Nightfall coming through, going to tag up almost everyone in this situation. So quick onto the site is Carleton White. Look at how quickly they turn the Jets on, and now Moju, while they're able to find a pick with that op, still going to be difficult to sort of clear out this round. Corva now burning down the Hunter's focus as well. This is so much burn. Pans is holding down that defuse. Can they find it? Pros do not fake. Pan's going to hold it down, and Carleton get to 12. Destroyed as well. They know where it is. Look at where Hayden is hiding in the smoke. Always a menace to deal with. Actually miss a shot as well, but Demon's taking so much damage on the outside here. So is Water. Time is not on your side if you're Carleton here. It's still 5v5 on this map. So difficult to retake here, but a big swing coming through from Pans. He finds 2 right on the head. Lost going to be able to turn one back around 2v4, though. Going to be so difficult. Soup needs to come in the clutch here with the shorty. Not going to be able to find it. And just
We are back here for map 2, moving on to Ascent. Can Saints Academy make the adjustments needed, honestly, to shut down Hayden Dom on what I'm presuming is going to be another chamber pick? Because really, how can you pick anything else after that last game?
Especially considering how literally trademark how well the chamber fits into the meta right now. You know, just able to be so versatile. You have so much zone control with that agent. It is, wow.
There it is. First lock of the game is going to be Hayden Dom on that chamber.
Absolutely shocked at that, but nonetheless, you know, we're going to get actually Torva back on the Sova here. Interesting to see that come through because a lot of teams have transitioned over to the Fade. Once again, though, it's all about comfort on these sort of maps because, you know, we got the esports collegiate standard in terms of our maps. You know, Haven Ascent into a third map bind. Curious to see if there's going to be any change-ups here. Of note, Demon back on the Jet. Soup going to be switching it up, though. No more Sky going to be opting for the KO this time around, but other than that, seems like everyone is holding their own, and it seems to be the same for Eonator here, opting away from the Omen this time, potentially going to the KO. We see Snoozers here hovering the brim for the time being, and Pan's actually going to opt for the Jet as well. And going to start to get locked in here. So a couple of agent changes, but for the most part, we've still got the same core structure around these two rosters.
Yeah, for sure. You can see everyone kind of fitting back into those same roles, other than really Eonator and Snoozers kind of flip-flopping the controller and the initiator here on Ascent, and KO picks from both sides. Not really surprising. I think from what I've casted, KO's got like 100% pick rate of games I've casted this season here,
except for the last one. Interestingly enough,
yeah,
okay,
on Ascent I'm referring
Ascent,
to, but yeah, those flashes are just too good. You get a literal like flash grenade, not like a curveball, like anything like that, where a lot of these other Valorant agents have their own kind of like twist to the flash. I guess KO just gets, your traditional, line it up, boom, throw the God Flash, and you are in there because it's just so valuable. Like, there's not really much else you can do about it. Like, you get those long lineups from the left click, and then you have pop flashes out of smokes from the right clicks, which can pop, sometimes literally the frame they come out of that smoke, and it's just, can't even turn away from that one.
It's really difficult to deal with just with how strong KO's flashes can be. You can see on both sides as well, the robot, able to drop a lot of information as well. You get as much information as something like a fade while you're still able to have these flashes in tow, but nonetheless, loading it up here. Of course, once again, Saints Academy going to be on your defending side to open it up. Curious to see if their defense is a little bit more airtight, especially with Ascent being a little bit easier for the defender side here. On Haven, it was a 6-6, which was surprising at that. But even then, Carleton were able to one-up them just that one little bit. This time around, I'm curious to see if they can make it a little bit more airtight, a little bit more of a water seal there to make sure that they don't let any leaks come through. They want to try and get something like an 8-4 coming through on this defense, I feel.
Yeah, and something like a KO pick is definitely going to help out. You've got that suppression, be able to stall out those entries for just that little bit longer, because we've seen how slow Carleton likes to play. We've seen how long they like to wait before the executes come through. So you see something like, that suppression come through, shut down 3 abilities for 8 seconds there, and then what do they have to entry onto that site other than what's already been used?
Enough, a double peek coming through. It's going to be a couple shots being thrown as well as that knife of its own. Demon going to get full blinded by their own KO, and interestingly enough, walks right back out there. Eonator able to land that goes headshot. Another shot coming through from Pants after dropping both pistol rounds on map 1. Seems like Carleton have figured it out and already executing onto this A site, going quick. That's 2 picks picked off, and now retake coming through. This was not something that St. Clair did well in map 1, and already starting to fall apart at the seams.
Yeah, it is pistol round, so you're going to expect that they're going to go for it. 2 picks within 1 frame there, it felt like. Now it's a lot more doable here for the Saints. No utility left on that Brimstone as well, so no more smokes going to come down for stall. Both players coming down from heaven here. The suppression are going to be detected. Sensei Moji on the 3rd, and now it's just that fade left. The defuse not able to come through. The half is not good. Oh, as it's lost to Fell. Water double kill. Once again, it's Water just being that rock solid player that Carleton needs to close out these rounds.
Yeah, almost a strong retake there, almost sort of 1 for 1 in that one, but unfortunately, Sensei Moji and Lost weren't really able to get every single member there. You've always got to worry about that lurking fade, and unfortunately ends up being the difference maker there. But of course, curious to see how these rounds go, because they gave that side up very quickly. It was a quick execute coming through from Carleton, not something that we saw a lot of that first map. So curious to see if they're going to keep this tempo up, or if they're going to maybe slow it down, pull back a little bit, and look for something a little bit more methodical, but doesn't seem to be the case. They were peaking hard and fast here thus far.
Yeah, already taking all of this mid control and slowly shift walking it up to Cat. Actually going to be watching tiles. A couple of shots there, not going to land. Sensei Moji, 2 on this Headhunter. Headshots are good though for Pans.
Pan's able to link it up. Demon actually going to be able to find one in return, but all these Spectres are starting to show their power. Sensei Moji trying to find anyone. The Headhunter misses twice. Will the classic shots do it? The spam not quite good enough. Hayden Dom going to be able to collect that one up, and now Pan face checking right into the face of Lost. It's a 3K for Pans there. This Jet already online here. And first couple of rounds going the way of Carleton, but once again, both times on map number 1, we saw the aggressive pistol round and the subsequent bonus coming through from the side of St. Clair going their way, and then immediately flip back around. I'm curious to see if they can replicate that on the opposite side, if they can potentially take a little bit more control into their hands here with these rifles, and if they can stick it to the side of Carleton White on this time around.
Yeah, because really, second round went exactly as expected for that second round. Obviously, Spectres came through, and the buys are going to give just that much of an advantage. But now that you've got the weaponry advantage, Saints, you can play longer angles. You can just kind of sit back a little bit. Sensei Moji, it's really going to come down to Sensei Moji being on his shots, though. Did whiff with that Headhunter last round, and really did not help out the already devastating round to start. In Dom seen the shots come out of Hayden Dom, so Demon on the peak. Not going to be good. There's one. Flash from Soup going to come out as well. There's the second. Hayden Dom was there on the trade. We know how solid that player is. But still, actually, numbers advantage that is going to go over to Saints Academy. Now a rotation. Going to be an order from Carleton White.
You can see just sort of slow and methodical with their rotations as well, just willing to play back, play slow as much as possible. You can see it's more so St. Clair getting a little bit antsy. They want to try and figure out what's going on, but once again, 30 seconds drops on the clock. St. Clair have to try and figure out what the plan is, and it seems like it's an execute towards this A site. Interestingly enough, not actually spotted out in that tree area was, I believe it was
Lost, I believe.
Yeah, Lost was sitting there. Plant's still going to come down. An odd man advantage here for the side of St. Clair. Are they going to be able to execute on that? That is the question. Now, retake all 4 members up in heaven. This could be really good, or it could be absolutely devastating if they get sprayed down.
Arrow destroyed immediately, but not before one scan comes off. Water going to fall. Water and Eonator. Snoozers, the third to go, and that is going to be the retake coming through. You know, we talked about you got to have those solid retakes, and it does come through. Granted on, you know, just a bonus round there from Carleton, but still you take the round wins where you can. We've seen, I mean, we saw Saints drop that exact round last game, so it's definitely got to feel good for Saints Academy here, but already I'm seeing an issue for the Saints there, and it comes from the second on the scoreboard from Carleton. Operator is in hand and now in play here in round 4.
And realistically, Hayden Dom was picking up the operator as well early on, but it wasn't quite to their advantage on the offensive side. It was more so a detriment on the defense. So difficult to, you know, handle, but Sensei Moji, look how far up they've pinched up. One gonna come through as well, as both teams with a full buy have to be incredibly strong to sort of get that advantage truly in your favor, and especially here for St. Clair, if you're able to pick this one up, you should be able to find a third in a row afterwards. So full buys on both sides. Hayden Dom with this operator, switching up the skin. They went from probably the best operator skin in the game in the Origin to
that's a Wardell.
It's awful. I hate spline operator. It makes me uncomfortable. The tryptophobia that comes through, it's like, I don't want to look at that skin for too long.
Yeah, it's an interesting line of skins, to say the least. It looks like something you'd see more out of like Alien versus Predator than anything. But in terms of this round going so far, very, very slow. But I like to see Sensei Moji take more of an aggressive angle at the starting. Find a pick, not able to find the second off of the reveal. And now Sensei Moji revealed themselves, not able to TP out. Just stuck on this site down to anchor. There's the null command coming out from the Eonator. Shots are good from Water, and all the site control is now given over. 3-man retake needs to happen.
It'll be difficult as well, considering the operator still in the inventory of Hayden Dom. As we say, that finds the one already 4v2 situation here. Demon gonna have to make some magic happen with Lost. Great smoke to get this chamber off of the angle, but Eonator still able to find it onto Lost. Just a Demon to go. Fully able to find one onto Hayden Dom at the very least, but now 3 members, Holden, Boathouse, Holden, Sight, going to be so difficult to peek down onto this one. Demon's going to have to make some magic happen. They've got to make it happen quick, but Water is definitely looking for those heads every single time. This fade has been oh so consistent for the side of Carleton White, and once again, they're able to find the picks for themselves and push them to a third round here.
Yeah, you've got Hayden Dom, who's consistent picks. Water, super consistent on the post plant. And then Pants, who's able to just come in and, you know, it's like 50-50 on crazy entry or just space taken and you did your job for your team, right? But occasionally we see Pants come in and just find 2K, 3K initially on that first entry, and then Saints are just too far behind in the round.
You can see an aggressive push forward from Soup and Demon. They're going to be quashed immediately there by the Prowler. Water was really able to push them back a long way now. Pans probably used the early charge of their dash, so at the very least a little bit of mobility taken away from Pans, so won't have as much entry capability. But look at Sensei Moji's angle here. Has the tour de force, won't be able to find a great crouch coming through from Eonator there, and now has been compromised on their position. They're going to have to try and rotate out. At the very least, they know that there are plenty of members of Carleton over towards this A site. We'll see if Carleton ought to rotate away. Does not seem to be the case. Pan's going to already find one from Soup. Pan finds 2. Talked about that limited mobility. Does not matter. Pan's entering with the 2K and already a 5v2 situation.
Spike planted.
It's only Torva and Sensei Moji left, and not too much weaponry to their name. I mean, you've got the Tour de Force available, but what does that really help you on the retake? Even if you find a pick on site, there's going to be a massive circle on site that you can't run through. That is a big whiff from Hayden Dom, though. Could have immediately shut down this threat, and now gonna have a little bit more time to make something work, but that's the Tour de Force shut down by the suppression. Third for Pans there, and there is nothing left for Sensei Moji to do here.
Unfortunately, not much. Hayden Dom even going to find that last kill with the operator. It's been a smooth operation, at the very least, coming through from Carleton as they're able to find a 4th round for themselves. And now their economy's already booming. It's worrisome when this early on into a game, you can look at these economies and say, they've got like 4 or 5 buys in the inventory. Because it's round 5, you know, 4 or 5 buys later, we're at round 10. That's almost done the half. You're going to have to find a lot of momentum for the side of St. Clair if you really want to shut this team down. You know, Hayden Dom has the operator, has the backup operator. You've got, you know, knives available on Pans as well if you want to try and find some long-range fights. And now Hayden Dom just immediately going to be peeking out through a tree. The smoke not quite going to find the timing, but at the very least, not going to be taking too much damage. And you can see that St. Clair really trying to find something that works for them, but their strategies have just been cut down every single time by Carleton.
Yeah, that's really just been the story here. I mean, they found the 1 round. They found that first buy round when, you know, Carleton didn't really have the weapons to answer them, and that is all they've found. Other than that, it's been shut down, retake shut down, ultimates shut down. Just so much value being lost for the Saints over these few rounds, and now you're staring down a 3-round lead while Carleton continues to just play their slow attack side here. Super default coming out from Carleton as no one spotted out from that arrow as well. Literally no info to be had for Saints Academy here. Pans so quick on that entry. This is what I'm talking about. It's always the first shot going to come through for Pans. 2 for Torva. Water, though, trading it back. Sensei Moji, can you keep the lead alive? Not if Pans has anything to say about it. Now down to a 2v2, and Spike is good. 2 ultimates available for Carleton White.
You've got the ultimate advantage. Water going to be so pivotal in using that Nightfall to just prevent any sort of space taken. But look at how far off-site the side of Saints Academy are playing. They've got to try and pinch in. They don't have the timing. They do not have the clock on their side in this situation. Demon go demon mode, if anything, to try and find this. Water holding that Nightfall for as long as possible. The first sound cue they hear, you know they're popping that instantly. So dangerous. Yeah, just going to drop it as the spike speeds up. They're Demon able to find one. They know exactly where this fade is. Are they going to be able to find the swings in time? It's going to be Water going down as finally the side of St. Clair is able to take advantage of this buy round. They're going to be able to secure it for themselves, and at the very least, salvage out 2 rifles.
Yeah, they're able to take that back. Not to mention, I mean, you burn the Nightfall coming out there. That's really good to see because that is such a key ultimate on this team to be able to take the sites, right? They used it in the post plant in that situation, and, you know, great in that situation as well. It really just came down to Demon out shooting everyone in those last few seconds there, but yeah, having that out of the picture for a few more rounds, definitely going to feel good for St. Clair, but you still got to worry about Jet Knives, you still got to worry about that Tour de Force, but it's the Null Command and the Nightfall that are actually, you know, they're going to be coming up and down right around the same times, which should help out because those are going to be the main ones to be able to just clear out of sight.
Clear out sight and hold sight as well. So difficult to fight into a Null Command in any of those situations because you kill the KO and then you still just down there pulsing away, wow, all that sort of stuff, being a big old boombox, you know.
Perfect sound effect, by the way. You actually nailed that one.
Yeah, you just feel like you're getting shut down when you hear that, but my goodness, Demon not going to be able to find that one. Pans finds 2 of their own once again. These executes have not been working out for St. Clair on the offensive. Granted, Pans able to find 2. Not actually going to have that jet recharged, the jet dash, sorry, recharged quite yet. And interestingly enough, still a 3v3 situation. Hayden Dom will get spotted out just for a little bit from that trademark. Not sure if they it or they took notice of it, but this off angle, absolutely disgusting. Hayden Dom every single time, no matter what the op skin is, no matter how good or bad, has been able to find those shots, and Torva unfortunately not going to be able to do the same. No, Pans is at 5 health and is at risk of this one.
30 seconds left.
Torva, Hayden Dom. Man. He knows he's in CT2. Pans is actually going to pick up the 3K there while on 5 health, but Torva, who has to contest with Hayden Dom there in the CT side. I mean, you can't really do much. You're just getting pinched. He spotted out your drone as well. You gotta, you gotta try as much as you can, but you pretty much gotta accept death in a lot of those situations.
Of note, this is, I believe, Carleton's map pick as well. So they are looking a lot more confident on this pick. The sad thing is for St. Clair Academy on their map pick, 6-6 on their defensive half, weren't able to execute on the attack either. And now, you're really risking it all here. You've got to try and find some rounds in your favor. Oh my goodness, a full blind comes through, but Eonator's there to back it up. And going to be falling. Soup going to be able to pick one up on the Hayden Dom early, but all see here from Soup is just a really tough angle. Eonator actually going to be able to take that one up with a classic, as it ends up being a little bit of a trade up there. Emoji going to be able to get traded back by Water as well. And Carleton 3v2 here. Torva going to have to try and make some magic happen with the Sheriff, because this is really tough. Lost classic to try and make something happen.
Yeah, not the worst eco there from Saints Academy, but Torva now just getting absolutely bombarded by utility here in Boathouse. There's Pants to clean it up with that classic. Also going to get that plant down and lost. You've got a classic, or you've got whatever you can pick up off the ground here. Actually going to opt for a Spectre, but sees a Vandal. Goes back for it now. Weaponry's in hand, rifle in hand.
This is your chance.
But you're in that 1v3. It looks like it's just going to be the save to come out.
Interestingly enough, not going to pick up the operator that I believe is still on the ground, unless someone was able to pick that one up as well. Maybe not able to find it, or not sure who exactly has it. Actually, yeah, Pants has it, of course. It's not going to be the Chamber who has the op. It's going to be the Jet holding that one. Seems as if Lost is just going to hold an angle and pray for dear life. Been a tough go of things for the side of Saints Academy here. They haven't been able to find any momentum thus far, and realistically, even getting a Vandal away from that round, it's the least that you can try and do here, because honestly, it's starting to come down to it. 6-2 here. Your economy not in the best of shapes here, and Carleton have enough to buy out for most of the rest of this half at this point.
Yeah, Carleton, they're just chilling right now. They don't really have much concern in the terms of money. You've got the operator now back in the hands of Hayden Dobb. You're able to keep it on the team in that last round, and now we do see the full buy coming out from the Saints. This is the Saints having to turn their momentum around. This is the round, because once again, if they fall here, they're just going to go back to constant ecos, constantly just being shredded in a lot of these rounds. Demon full blind, and Suppress going to come out, not really able to find much. Watch out from that eye. Soup going to break down that door there. I believe that's a peek from the knives. Pans threw it a few, but it doesn't look like anywhere able to land. They're going to rotate back around towards mid.
At the very least, thus far, St. Clair have been able to hold on to prevent themselves from getting picked in this first 40 seconds. But look at this from Torva. Can actually try and jump peek that. Pan's going to expend a knife for the trouble. So at the very least, no insta-kill is going to come through if it's just body shot. Has to be hit in the head for Pans. Good job of sort of killing down this Jet's knife economy at the very least. But once again, a minute into this one, St. Clair, they're not able to find any picks. Neither is Carleton here. It's a slow, steady, methodical execute coming through from Carleton once again. Every single time it seems to be the case.
Yeah, they're 30-second rule. We're going back to it. 30 seconds left. Thanks, announcer. We're going to see what can happen here. Yep. They're going to be committing to this A. It's worked out so well for them previously. The smoke going to come out for Tree, but now it's 2 players in that smoke. Presence going to be detected by that KO knife. Snoozers getting the plant down, and there's not too much Saints can do other than a Hunter's Fury coming through and absolutely cleaning out the plant. There is the time good. They're able to... No, they are not. Defenders are going to take that win.
By the slimmest of margins. I believe that was like maybe
couple pixels,
like seconds. It was tough on that one. No spike to come down, and St. Clair able to take advantage of that one. And you take those. When you're this far behind, you gotta take those, because those kind of rounds, honestly, really good presence of mind from Torva to use the Hunter's Fury to prevent that plant from going down. You gotta take it. You gotta get what you can cake, you know.
Yeah, you gotta take it, and as well, yeah, just great read there from Torva. They've planted in the exact same spot every single round, and it's been able to work out for Carleton. Use that essentially global ultimate to shut that down. And then you're able to just play time there, and you played that. They played that time to literally a fraction of a second, and it was able to work out up in the hands of Demon. Now you're a little more set up for a lot of these, you know, defensive holds that you want to make now that you've got that op in hand. And there's the headshot from Sensei Moji. Not being forced to use the TP just yet as well is going to give a lot of options to him later in the round. There's the shot from Demon. 2 picks coming down and a minute left in the round. Carleton have to regroup and re-arm here.
Yeah, better looks coming through from St. Clair, you know. A great play from Sensei Moji to wait on that button until the last second. You know, pick up your one and then just close the door, prevent any sort of pushes from coming through. And, you know, a little bit of a different execute coming through from Carleton. They pushed up very aggressively through mid this time, not really working to their advantage. But now Torva holding a tight angle on this market area. You can see they're still really considering this B site, but now all of a sudden they start to move over towards A. Let's see if Hayden Dom's going to get spotted out. That operator with a huge barrel does not matter. Lost, not going to be able to find the shots in time, and now actually Demon's going to be able to trade that one back, and only one left to come through. Snoozer's going to be the one in the hot seat looking for the plant.
10 seconds left.
Going to be able to do anything about it. Demon with 11 health is going to be so difficult. Shot through the wall, going to be able to come through with the assist as they clean up another round for themselves. They push themselves to 4. At the very least, the 6-6 half is still very much on the cards.
Yeah, definitely in the cards here. I mean, it's only 2 rounds you have to play through. I want to take a look at the economies here, because I don't necessarily remember how much Carleton had in bank, but I mean, it's so much after that lead they built up. You said yourself, 5 or 6 rounds into the future, and we're now seeing that now 3 rounds where Carleton haven't been able to find one, but they're still able to consistently bring out these full buys. And I mean, a few of their members still got one more in them.
They're just pointing out the fish, making sure we're aware.
Great fish.
Great fish. You know, there's some cool tech that you can do with that fish on Sage.
Yeah, for sure.
The only reason why I know is because I only play Sage. I'm sad that we don't get to see Sage because it only happens on Icebox, and, you know, esports standard, you know, behind Haven Ascent. No Sage.
We've seen the Sage on Haven before. It's a very niche pick. Sensei Moji actually teased us with it a little bit in Agent Select on that first map, but yeah, not too common to come out anymore. That clog meta that we saw at the starting of the game, it's now kind of done. It's now moved towards, you know, just a lot more execute heavy. It's not just straight stall anymore. Also, just coming with the fact that all of these new maps promote a lot more aggressive playstyles in a lot of situations. Pick, though, early. Going to be good for the side of the Saints Academy here. Prowler actually expires just before it finds him there. Sensei Moji in logs. Torva, 3K there. I guess 2K is one of them. One of them was a double KO kill, but the rest of the team coming through as well. 5-6 now. 6-6. You got to make it happen here, Saints Academy, and you got to try and take that momentum. Because really, they haven't lost a round in the past few. Just take this momentum, run it all the way into that attacking half.
You can see Sensei Moji going to opt for the Tour de Force this time around. You get a little bit of a double op action coming through from the side of St. Clair here. They've really been able to turn the tides in their favor, and as we were saying about the execute-heavy sort of play style and not really moving towards stall, seems as if Carleton have sort of gone back to their old ways, gone toward the slower play style, and realistically, not working out as well for them thus far in the last couple of rounds. They've played more methodically. That doesn't mean that it's the best strategy in this situation. You can be methodical and still mess up from time to time, and some of these early picks going the way of St. Clair have definitely spelled that. But Torva not spotting anyone out with that drone. That's a big piece of util already used, and you get absolutely nothing off of it.
Yeah, the duo here from Soup and Demon has been vital to holding down this A site for as long as they can, as just Giggles and taps coming out, and the op shot's going to be good. Not before Hayden Dom can get in a shot of his own over near mid. It's Torva to fall, and Nightfall's going to come through as no one's actually going to rush the site. It's just Nightfall to come out and head back towards mid.
A lot of info purchased at the very least, but Hayden Dom, my goodness, get this guy off the op. Demon gonna be able to trade that one back. Ionator now able to find another pick, and all of a sudden, St. Clair now at a little bit of a disadvantage here. The Execute gonna go towards the B site because of all of those sound cues, all the deafens coming through from the fade. Is that they have no clue that it was over on the opposite side. The Execute going the opposite way. Now Demon with that operator gonna have to try and find some magic here. Ionator holding this mid area as well. It's so difficult to cope with, but both members gonna go through CT here. Knife still out. If Demon's able to make some magic happen, will get spotted out, and that's a big reveal coming through. Ionator though holding through market here. He's gonna land as well, and now all down to Lost. Time already running out. Seems as if it is an inevitable. It will be Carleton trying to close this one out as quickly as possible. The tail grenade going to come through as well. Time expiring. No time to defuse the spike at this point. Lost going to get one on the way out, but Ionator with a 3K going to secure a winning half for the side of Carleton.
7-5 half. Carleton has to feel good about that. I mean, had the risk of another 6-6 half, and they were able to pull it out last time, but coming into this attacking side for the Saints, now you're 2 rounds down already, so you find your pistol. So ideally for the Saints, right, you find your pistol, you find your bonus after that, and then all you've done is even it out. Like, what do you do after that to continue this ball rolling? Because we haven't seen what Saints Academy has on this map in terms of attack. But at the same time, we've seen how solid Carleton is playing right now. It's really, really hard for the Saints to shut them down.
It's going to be difficult at the very least. I mean, Snoozers, sort of bringing up the rear there, but a lot of, assists for themselves, still getting a lot of utility out of this Brim. I'm going to be walking up aggressively. Pan's going to be able to train him back on the opposite side of the map. So at the very least, it is a pickup for the side of St. Clair. But look at this from Sensei Moji, already pushing up through mid aggressively. Love the fishy ghost there. As well. That's a battle pass skin, I think.
The fish one, yeah. It's great.
It's an oldie, but it's a goodie at the very least. Some damage you can put down onto Pans as well. User's now going to be forced to hold a little bit of a tough angle. As you can see, lots of mid control afforded by the side of St. Clair already on this offense here. Little bit of blinking red health bars there. The Omen, the Jet on opposite sides there are going to be taking a little bit of damage, but executing onto the site already. You can see the Fade spotted out as well. Will get wrapped around there, and Demon's able to find one. Now the execute on the safe side as Lost starts to plan.
Yeah, there's the garage gonna be come down. Knifing it through, but Sensei Moji so close on this left side. There's Demon with the shot, second of the round. Now Ionator stuck here in heaven. Well, it's the Jet gonna be following him down. Hands half health here, trying to make something work. There's the Sheriff coming in. Ionator with the second as well, and just clearing out the sights, taking that pistol round back from the depths. That should not have happened, but Ionator had something to say about it.
Yeah, ghost of the past there. The pistol round went the way of Carleton in the first half, and the pistol round once again goes in favor of Carleton here. Now going to push their advantage up to 3 rounds. Very likely going to be a 4th here unless a little bit of a force comes through. I saw Lost there considering the Stinger for a little bit there. Does not seem to be the case for them. Looks like they are going to potentially buy a Bucky.
I'm not mad about the Bucky hit pick here, considering we know Torva is going to be playing some kind of market and or, B kind of angle here. So he's just going to be trying to move in. Oh, no Bucky. No Bucky secured, but a couple of Sheriffs.
There's all those sprays, no Spectres. There's a no Bucky one. Unfortunately, we don't get the Bucky this time. Oh, my.
Collat comes through from Hayden Dom. Just barely missed it there, and Pans leading him out from tiles as well. What do you do against something like that? Not only do you start on such a brutal collat like that, but now you have a Marshall coming at you from mid here. Marshall's so good against unarmored targets, and one shot going to go on to Sensei Moji. 3K for Hayden Dom. Torva, you trade the one headshot back, but just too many bodies being thrown at you right now.
I mean, the collat headshot is really what sealed the deal there. Really well played from the side of, you guessed it, Hayden Dom with these one shot to the head guns. It just feels as if every single time they're able to make it happen. And it's tough because Saints now, they finally get their buy round. They're finally looking down the barrels of rifles as opposed to pistols. But yet they're down 4 rounds here. It's Carleton have afforded themselves so much time in this one, and you've got to fear for what could potentially come through, because you lose this round here, you're forced onto another econ, and then you're facing down something like 10, 11 rounds for the side of Carleton, and they've just been so strong at finding rounds out of thin air. They found a couple of thrifties for themselves. They've been making it work with whatever guns they're able to pick up for themselves. Pens, though, holding this angle with the Marshall. Not going to be able to get that dash down in time. Spots him out. I believe that was a leg shot coming through in St. Clair. This is a better execute. 3 picks early on to this round. Quick executes already coming through. Water, they'll find a little bit of damage with that Sheriff. Oh my goodness. Orva's got maybe 10 health to speak of, but now Snoozer's on the turnaround, able to find 1 at the very least, but it's just a Sheriff to speak of on the enemy side. Water's going to have to make some magic happen, but this isn't out of the realm of possibility. That's 1 already picked up onto Soup. Check him PC. Not going to be able to find the other ones. It is a pickup coming through for the side of St. Clair. The round pushes them to 6. A little bit of a nice scoreline happening there, but still not so nice for the side of St. Clair, who are still trying to get any sort of momentum in this one.
Yeah, and Water actually shut down. You know, a Vandal did drop from that first pick and didn't immediately run to it, ready for that peek that came out from, I believe it was Demon, who was able to seal the deal there, but just can't shoot it out with that Sheriff in hand. Now, see Demon, Sheriff in hand, 1 point away from those knives, so not there just yet, so he's going to have to opt for a pistol buy at least. Then we do see the half armor operator from the side of Carleton really trying to shut down any kind of aggressive attack coming out here from Saints Academy and start off the round. It's a lot of intel going Carleton's way.
And speaking of the operator, actually going to be going on a different member this time around. It's Pans picking that one up for themselves. Going for the jet op. This is something that we've seen a lot of pro teams do. They opt for the jet opping down mid lane because you've got a little bit more space for yourself. You've got the dash to be able to get out. Nonetheless, the knives are in the inventory here. They're going to try and find something. ENA are taking a little bit of chip damage. Not sure if that's too meaningful for now, but Demon really going to try and find something with this ultimate here because, you know, you didn't buy a gun. You opted to save a little bit here. You're going to be able to buy next round, but actually not going to be able to spot out Demon here. Still has those knives out. Waiting for some sort of cue, waiting for something to push him over the edge, and it seems like the thing that'll push him over the edge is just going to be a couple of smokes going down the rotation and Pans. This angle is so nasty, but it does not matter. Demon's able to spot him out first. Quicker on the trigger is the jet.
30 seconds
left.
Ready for that operator to come out. There's the molly from Snoozer's, also going to shut down Demon, as well as just alienating Demon from the rest of the team. Nobody can push through that Brimstone molly, and now
quick.
16 seconds left in the round here. Snoozer's playing the back angle, but just going to whiff that spray. And the plant should be all but good. And it is going to come down. Now the retake has to happen. They're opting to make this fast. 2 kills come out immediately. Both players stacked up around Jenny here. Hayden Dom finds the first one. Ionator to find a second. There it is. 10-6 from Carleton. What started off as such a great round from the Saints. Demon really opening it up there. And then one ability, that one piece of utility just gonna absolutely shut it down for the Saints.
Molly just a little bit too strong, you know, separating everyone out, preventing Demon from being with the team, being prevented from getting traded out right away. And despite, you know, Snoozer's not really able to land a lot of those shots there. It was a little bit of a worry there. They stalled long enough. They gave Hayden Dom enough time to wrap around. They gave, you know, Ionator time to rotate over. And you look at the scoreboard here. Look at the buys that are coming through. That's a Bulldog picked up from Demon, despite them having more than enough credit. It just sort of tossed around. It's a ramshackle buy here. Not going to be anything too cohesive because their backs are up against the wall. They have to force a buy here. They need to find a round win, lest they drop down to 11. They drop down to 12. Lest they drop the entire series at this point. It is down to the wire here, and this is not what you want to see in round 17 of the game. You really wish you had a little bit more time to work with here if you're St. Clair.
Yeah, I think the force just has to come out here because you can't save this round, buy up round 11, and then just lose it and be equaling on round 12. So you're really just playing for later. And we've seen these guns in their hands before. They can get the picks with it, but I think it's a lot of the 3 to 4 man gunfights where trades are coming out at, you know, so much utility is being expended that really shuts down the Saints in a lot of these situations. Sensei Moji, are you going to click that shoot button? Gonna walk by the dark cover. There it is from Soup. Headshot to come in and all sight control, but it's Hayden Dom from a main there who's actually gonna shut one down. Soup quick on those shots to trade it back. Now down to a 3v3.
Tough situation. Hidden Dom getting there too, you know, having a really nice setup, being able to play so aggressively, being able to wrap around, but Torva able to find one on the wraparound, find the hops as well. Soup gonna find their third of the round. Eonator the one left standing. Torva, bit of a rat angle here, just looking for anything, doesn't matter, lost. Able to finally find their shot there. 7-7 here. It's a good bounce back coming through from the side of St. Clair. You gotta try and put the hammer down here, especially with the econs not looking so hot from the side of Carleton here. You know, it's gonna be tour de force forced out of Hayden Dom here. Sheriff only coming through from Eonator. Classics, just not a great buy that will come through. Not gonna be as cohesive as you could expect coming through from the side of Carleton here. St. Clair really got a chance to even their score up a little bit here and push their economies up a little bit higher, but they've got to make sure this round is clean. I dare say they need a flawless here.
Yeah, on the bright side for Carleton, I mean, you've got those knives available, and they are going to be good. One goes down to Demon, but the trade going to come out from Sensei Moji, and now Tour de Force also popped. First shot going to go just a little bit wide. Now, lost. No way he's repeating that angle. All the way on the rotation. Just going to allow his team to really commit to be here, as they've already found that first pick. So, really, why not? You know the rest. You know that chamber is situated towards Cat, towards that A side. It's going to be so long for a rotation to come through, and not even going to force it just yet. There's the molly. It's actually going to do a lot of damage to water there.
Some really strong engages coming through. Soup going to drop the null command as well. Going to try and close up the door. Buy as much time as possible. Sensei Moji already coming through with the plant, and water down to half health here. They're a couple shots away from potentially being turned into Soup. Depends on who actually comes through with it, of course, but Soup dropping down the blinds once again. Great knife going to come through from the KO scan out. Multiple members once again, with Hayden Dom on the back of this site. Needs to find the shots, isn't able to find the immediate angles, and this is a strong situation for St. Clair if they can stall this out. Torva able to find one for themselves. They know exactly where the Sova is. Will Torva be able to find another one? The spray's now coming through. The util being dumped on either side. Soup completely oblivious to the member next to them, but it does not matter. Torva gonna shut down. Eonator hanging out near the button here, now chasing down Hayden Dom. Can you find the last one? The tour de force. Couple bullets in the chamber. Now actually gonna go down to the spike there. Lost gonna fall as well. Just gonna get as many credits as possible, and at the very least, St. Clair escape with 3 rifles.
Yeah, they make it out of there alive, and now they're in, you know, a pretty good position to be able to make this round work. We do see null command as well as that orbital strike available from the side of Carleton, but got that tour de force in Sensei Moji's pocket in case you find yourself in a situation this round where you need that operator. You do have that ready to pop, but other than that, it's just going to be rifles all the way down the line here. That's a good knife to start it off. I mean, scan him out. You know that chamber's playing A side, and there's the initial pick from Demon. Every single round that the Saints have found recently have come off of a pick from Demon. Hands immediately on the trade. Pans putting in so much work for Carleton this game. Sensei Moji kill as well. Orbital strike to deny the plant for just a little bit longer as Demon not ready with these not finished with these gunfights just yet. Yeah, he's going to find another one. The rest of Carleton. Water might actually be able to find... Only going to be one bullet here to take down Demon, but Demon holding that angle. Deep in pizza.
Just see how well Demon is playing at this point. Holding these angles, as you said, not finished with the gunfights, preventing side of Carleton from even getting started and finding any of these players as well. You know, Water linking up with Eonator once again. They've got to try and link something up here to try and find the round for Carleton White here. Big round because they used a lot of credits to make sure this one was going to work for them, but even then, you know, not finding the picks necessary. Soup holding this angle for the time being. Demon as well doing what they can. Do they have the swing? It's the head for Demon. A 3K running. Gonna be able to get the distraction down as well. Soup cleaning up that round. You know, Soup is made of water. Soup definitely made water something there. 9th round for the side of St. Clair Academy. Now, start to see this momentum picking back up for Saints Academy. They're really starting to come alive here, and especially in this round, which should be free for them with the very limited buys coming through from Carleton White. You've got to expect them to at least tie this one up. But we've been in this situation before. 10-10, 11-11. It comes down to that clutch gene. All these rounds start to matter more and more as it comes down to it. And Saints Academy, they need to show that they can keep it in the clutch.
Yeah, the fact that you've brought it back this close, especially on Carleton's map pick as well, it's definitely something to be said. I mean, you were so far behind in that first half. You're able to end the half 7-5. But Hayden Dom once again on that headhunter. Torva's been a bit of a headhunter this game, to be honest. So many angles. You'll see Torva just holding it. Shots come through. Snoozers spam through the wall there. St. Clair College should be all but locked in for this round. Not Sensei Moji's gonna be whiffing shots like that. Eonator forced to rotate out. But it's B site control now given over. 56 seconds left in the round. Plant to come down in a few seconds.
Imminent plant coming through from Torva as well. As you mentioned, Torva's really been able to come alive on this map. I think Sova a lot better on this map compared to something like Haven. And if it's something that's an agent that's sort of in their wheelhouse in that sense, a little bit more comfort, maps are going to matter in terms of how well you could perform. I think this has definitely been a better performance. Soup holding this, going to drop that pop flash coming through. Look at the swing though from Demon. Soup going to find 2 of them. Demon going to find that 3rd. St. Clair find their 10. We're all tied up. What looked to be a little bit of a doomed situation when they were down 10-6 has now evened itself up. Granted, we look across, and now the full buys are going to come through from the side of Carleton. This is a absolutely massive round for the side of St. Clair if they can win this, and it could be absolutely to their detriment if they lose it as well, because that operator on Hayden Dom, we've seen what it can do time and time again. Are they going to be the headhunter we've seen in map 1, or going to fall down a couple of pegs here? Curious to see how this one turns out here. This is getting tense.
Yeah, and we've seen Demon be able to find those headshots onto Hayden Dom earlier this game, even with operators in hand. And really, this is the make or break round for Carleton. If Carleton finds this, they should be able to keep that momentum rolling. But meanwhile, St. Clair Academy finds himself with an 11th round and so much money in the bank. Regardless of how many rifles you lose at this point, you're going to keep buying them. Really, this is going to be the pivotal round. I think Carleton wins this. We can still see overtime very, very likely, right? Just based on economy, based on what next round's buys are going to be. Flash comes through. Snoozers is good for 1. Not going to be able to trade it back out onto Soup. There's the molly coming through. Soup. Headshot is good. You've got Hayden Dom on the op now. No TP available, but no TP needed when you're just going to shoot him down like that. Eonator, 2 headshots and what felt like 3 bullets there, and pants to clean up the last one. There it is, but now we're going to take a look at the money here, and really, there it is. Yeah, like the buys are going to come through. The full buys are super viable here for the Saints, and Saints going to take a quick timeout because you got to find a way to shut down Hayden Dom on this operator, because otherwise you're just going to have such a hard time getting into these sites, and we just saw it there. Not to mention, Eonator is like the best follow-up player I think I've ever seen. Like, someone else is always on the entry, but he's always in there with 2 or 3 picks after the fact, whether it's on retake, whether it's on attack to begin with. It doesn't really matter. He can do it all.
Yeah, Eonator's been a really strong stalwart, just holding these sights, holding these angles, making sure that no one goes without a couple of little bits of bullets in them from Eonator. Every single time the robot has been rolling for them. But overall, I think Saints have done a really good job of bringing it back. And especially in the situation where you just dropped around, you need to just sort of get your composure back. It's all about this momentum. If you can take that momentum away from Carleton White here, if you can get to 11-11 in this situation, you put yourself in a good spot, because you've still got the economy. It's a little bit rough around the edges for the side of Carleton. Losing guns even in that round going to be a little bit to their detriment. We can see, though, should have enough to buy on everyone here. But once again, you get an 11th round, you get a 12th round, you're really pushing Carleton White to the brink here. Once again, though, St. Clair, you have to find this round win, because at the very least, you want to try and force overtime. If not, just win this game. You want to force a game where you want to get there. Water misses the fade eye there, which is good. The Haunt not going to spot anyone out, and that's a really good start to the round, albeit at the expense of Carleton.
Yeah, it's a good, cooldown to kind of have for the side of the Saints. You're able to get that out from the start, and it was able to find literally no value, right? It just kind of popped right in front of him and fizzled. Eonator getting a flash ready there. We see another one coming out from Soup. Flash is going to be good. Snoozers coming back from a little bit blindness there. Shot's not going to be good. Soup, they're ready to clear out this gelato or this pizza area, but Eonator is just too good.
Rat angles have really been working. I don't like to use the term rat angles when it comes down to it because they're really good angles to hold. It's just Eonator has been on point with them. A 3K rolling for him right now. You can see Torva has agency onto this site, has a little bit of room to work with. Lost, I have to try and find anything that they can. And a little bit lost this game, to be real, but sometimes, you know, you can sort of bring it back around. It really comes down to what you can find in the clutch. Of course, Hayden Dom always going to be that imminent threat. Lost to find anything quite yet. We'll be able to knock down Eonator for at the very least here. Water, though, going to be able to trade that one back, and now it is all down to Torva. Completely suppressed. No way to use that Hunter's focus there to try and turn this one around. Just trying to hide behind the box. Hotel's going to be cleared out, and Torva will fall. Match point going to be coming through for Carleton White. And now St. Clair, this is where your resolve comes into test, because you have to find 2 rounds in a row at the very least, and then some more.
Yeah, just to keep yourself in the game here, to bring yourself to overtime. It's
bring yourself to a map 3. You know, you still
it's
the map. Your backs are up against the wall here.
All right, let's stop thinking about map 3 here. We got to think about overtime first, and that's definitely what that timeout was for. But it's just, you know, whatever strat was devised, just not gonna land, as Eonator just shutting him down from Pizza. And it really came down to the fact that I believe it was Soup there who took that initial peek. They knew the trademark, or the, not the trademark, what's, that's what that is?
It's gonna get smoked out.
Is the trademark not the teleporter?
It was the trademark that was smoked out, actually, so they didn't have any agency onto it, and then just immediately they knew, hey, we can just set up another member here and we can find it. But looking at this execute already coming through null command, just used to get onto this site here. Demon trying to drop bullets anywhere that they can. The door's going to be broken already. Look for anything that they can. No ultimate, I believe, on the Brimstone available, so nothing going to come through yet. But at least you get the plant down. At least you buy yourself a little bit of time. And Torva buys a man advantage there with a great shot. You know, 2 members already picked up. Their Snoozers now trying to get on the site here. Already popped that Molly, but Demon, just shots are real. Eonator, though, be taken down. Snoozers able to find one for themselves as well. Water going to be the last one remaining once again. They've had a lot of clutch situations like this before. Are they going to be able to find it? V1. Not going to come through, not going to spot anyone out. The knife's coming through from the side of Demon, really just trying to find anything. Sensei Emoji going to clean that one up, and now one more round is all St. Clair need to push themselves to overtime, to push themselves at a chance getting themselves this victory here. But of course, 1 round separates Carleton from just taking this one once again, and thus far, the clutch situations, you know, they've been the ones to perform. Difficult for the side of St. Clair to really hold their own here, but this is where you show the difference between, you know, your normal solo queue players and a team player. You've got to push through.
Yeah, it's like, and the thing is too, round-wise, if we're looking at win percentage, right, it's like Carleton's like 52% to Saints Academy's 48, right? But that 2%, that extra little bit is just giving them the lead, and it's not like we don't see those, you know, crazy hero rounds from some of these Saints Academy players, but just an all-around kind of team play difference right now from Carleton in a lot of these situations. There's the first one from Hayden Dom right at the starting of the dash as well. A second to shut him down. Hayden Dom, can you hit the shorty shot? The third. Torva gonna fall as well to the orbital strike, and that is all but game lost. You're looking lost out there right now. I'm not going to lie to you, buddy, as this is most likely going to be the game, the series to be picked up from Carleton University. Lost just, I mean, you've got 51 seconds to your name, but you don't got a spike. You don't got really much
either to pick it up, which is the issue here.
Yeah.
You know, door has been closed. Trademark going to be taken. They know exactly where Lost is. All these angles just going to be coming down. Molly going to buy even more time. Lost going to get suppressed here, and finally Snoozer is going to be able to clean that one up at the end of it. A valiant effort coming through from Saints Academy, but at the end of it, Carleton win both maps 13-11. It looked so good for them. That's flashes for the side of Saints Academy Red, but unfortunately this, you know, ramshackle roster, not really going to be able to cut it against the likes of Carleton White. So both of these teams going to end up at 3-3, a little bit more of a game advantage now going over to the side of Carleton. So it actually pushes them above Saints Academy here, but overall, it was so close at so many different points in that, but just not quite enough. They were missing that extra 5%, it's felt like.
Yeah, really. And I mean, the scores reflect that, right? 13-11, both games, both times, Saints Academy were right there to try and push that overtime, try and keep it going even longer. But it's players like Hayden Dom, players like Ionator, players like Water who are just going to be solid throughout both of these maps here and really, keep the team together, be that glue to take Carleton White to victory here in Week 6 in 2-0 fashion.
And it felt like it was always on the cusp of something big for the side of our Saints Academy here, because it felt like they really did have that potential. There were flashes where we saw, Demon coming up 3K, 4K, really finding their own, finding the tempo in that one. But it just felt like every single time there was a performance from the side of Demon that was, clip worthy or something that was, worth it to build around. Ionator was able to hit right back. Hayden Dom was able to hit right back every single time. The counterpunch was just a little bit stronger from the side of Carleton White. So they will end up with a 2-0 victory. Granted, that will not be it for us this week in terms of our broadcast. We don't have the schedule up quite yet, but Tuesday, Wednesday, we've got League of Legends action and NECC Star League on Tuesday. I believe it will be NECC on Wednesday. Thursday, I believe we've got Overwatch 2 on the docket. And then Friday, we get a little bit of Valorant. We got a little bit of a flip up there. Normally Rocket League on Friday, Valorant on Monday. Got the switch up this time around.
Yeah.
Some great broadcasts overall. But after this broadcast, good from the beginning for the Rocket League team. Not so great for the Academy Valorant team. Fundy, anything else you got to add?
I mean, pretty open and shut broadcast tonight. I mean, like you wrapped it up pretty well there. Gave everyone a nice overview. I mean, we can do our little shout outs here. Shout out to the production team beside me here. Ryan on the observing, Kaylee on the directing, Danner's producing all around the arena here today. And that's really going to be it for us tonight. Ending on a bit of a loss for Saints Academy Red, but, not a devastating one at that.
It was close at the very least, and definitely shows some potential. Granted, we did hear that there were some substitutions coming through. Never know, maybe it's just like, you beat our substitution team, just wait until playoffs and we'll get you with the main roster. But nonetheless, that wraps it up for us here tonight. Make sure you join us tomorrow for League of Legends action, as we said, and for the rest of the week, as we've always got streams available for you. But that wraps us up for tonight. Hope you all have yourself a wonderful evening. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, it is pistol round, so you're going to expect that they're going to go for it. 2 picks within 1 frame there, it felt like. Now it's a lot more shots there. Not going to land. Sensei Moji 2 on this Headhunter. Headshots are good, though, for Pan.
Pan's able to link it up. Even actually going to be able to find one in return, but all of these Spectres are starting to show their power. Sensei Moji trying to find anyone. The Headhunter misses twice. Will the classic shots do it? The spam not quite good enough. Hayden Dom going to be able to collect that one up, and now Pan face checking right into the face. A loss. It's a 3K for Pans there. This Jet already on top of that. That is the question. 3K also remember up in heaven. This could be really good, or it could be absolutely devastating.
Here's like arrow destroyed immediately, but not before one scan comes off. Water gonna fall. Water and Ionator.
Very difficult as well, considering the operator still in the inventory of Hayden Dom. So we say that finds the 1 already. 4v2 situation here. Demon gonna have to make some magic happen with Lost Great Smoke to get this chamber off of the angle, but Ionator still able to find it onto Lost. Just a Demon to go. Still able to find one onto Hayden Dom at the very least, but now 3 members, Holden, Boathouse, Holden, Sight, going to be so difficult to peek down onto this one. Demon's going to have to make some magic happen. They've got to make it happen quick, but Water, step, see if Carlton Plot shoots rotating away. That seemed to be the case. Pan's going to already find one with Soup. Pan finds 2. Talked about that limited mobility. Does not matter. Pan's entering with the 2K and already a 5v2 situation.
It's only Torva and
So dangerous. Yeah, just going to drop it as the spike speeds up. They're Demon able to find one. They know exactly where this fade is. Are they going to be able to find the swings in time? It's going to be Water going down a spot. Of it, but this off angle, absolutely disgusting. Hayden Dom every single time. No matter what the off-skin is, no matter how good or bad, has been able to find those shots. And Torva, unfortunately, not going to be able to do the same. No, Pans is at 5 health. Is at risk in this one.
30 seconds left.
Torva Hayden Dom. He knows he's in CT by that KO knife. Snoozers getting the plant down, and there's not too much Saints can do other than a Hunter's Fury coming through and absolutely cleaning out the plant. There is the time good. They're able to... No, they are not.
Get spotted out. That operator with a huge barrel. Does not matter. Lost. Not going to be able to find the shots in time. And now, Demon's going to be able to trade that one back. And only one left to come through. Snoozers going to be the one in the hot seat looking for the plant. Going to be able to do anything about it. Demon with 11 health is going to be so difficult. Shot through the wall. Going to be able to come through with the assist.
Here, Prowler actually expires just before it finds him there. Sensei Moji and Logs. 3K there. Right into the round. Now Eonator still here in heaven. Close to Jet going to be following him down. Hands half health here, trying to make something work. There's the Sheriff coming in. Eonator with the second as well, and just clearing out the sights.
You know, there's all those sprays, you know, no Spectres, you know, there's a no Bucky one. Unfortunately, we don't get the Bucky this time. Oh my.
Collect comes through from Hayden Dom. Just barely missed it there. Around here, Snoozer's playing the back angle, but just gonna whiff that spray, and the plant should be all but good, and it is gonna come down. Now the retake has to happen. They're opting to make this fast. 2 kills come out immediately. Both players stacked up around Jenny here. Hayden Dom finds the first one. Eonator to find a second.
And find the round for Carleton White here. Big round because they used a lot of credits to make sure this one was going to work for them. But then, you know, finding the picks necessary to hold them at this angle for the time being. Demon as well doing what they can do. They have the swing. It's the head for Demon. A 3K running. Going to be able to get to the shooting that's in the heat of that sort of no people post maps. It's a little bit more comforting. You know, maps are going to have in terms of how well you can perform. I think it's definitely been a better performance. It's going to drop that pump flash coming through. Look at the swing though from Demon. Soup going to find 2 of them. Demon's going to find that third. St. Clair find their 10
on the op now. No TP available, but no TP needed when you're just going to shoot them down like that. Eonator, 2 headshots and what felt like 3 bullets there, and Pants to clean up the last one. There it is, but now we're going to take a look at the money here and really... There it is, yeah.
Plant it down, at least buy yourself a little bit of time, and Torva buys a man advantage there with a great shot. You know, 2 members already picked up. Their Snoozers now trying to get onto site here. Already popped that Molly, but Demon, shots are real. Eonator, though, taken down. Snoozers able to find one for themselves as well. Water, going to be the last one remaining once again. We've had a lot of clutch situations like this before. Are they going to be able to find it? One. Not going to come in. Not going to spot anyone else. From the side of Demon, really just trying to find anything since they moved even.
It's not like we don't see those, you know, crazy hero rounds from some of these Saints Academy players, but just an all-around kind of team play difference right now from Carleton in a lot of these situations. There's the first one from Hayden Dom right at the starting of the dash as well. The second to shut him down. Hayden Dom, can you hit the shorty shot? The third. Torva gonna fall as well to the orbital strike, and that is all but game lost.